I've been way into it the past few days.
I guess it's enjoyable for a graveyard game.
Absolutely, it's like
Have you
Harvest
made
Moon.
any unethical decisions yet?
Oh hell yes, I have. I've just been talking to them about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I just finished talking about how I bought exhumation permission so that I could dig out a bad corpse with like nothing but red skulls and burn it at a cremation place so that I could use the ashes to make ink to make books.
You're spreading literacy.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
No,
Yeah,
well,
or
we're
actually it
spreading
was,
literacy so we can spread faith.
Yeah, actually it was yeah. I'm using
To
the
make the alchemy work.
I'm using the ink to make a new sermon, or at least I'm planning to, and that sermon will give me better boosts than my current like beginning sermon, because I get faith from people when they attend the sermon every Sunday.
So wait, are you also the priest then?
Yeah, I'm I'm the prior of the church. I don't think I'm an official priest yet, but I do sermons, and I am the keeper of the graveyard. And
Neat.
yeah, and I gotta make the graveyard nice, you know? I'm doing it for the graveyard. And also so I can go home to my love, I guess. Which, by the way, I learned how to make the portal work.
Your unnamed, unseen, unspoken of love.
Yep.
The
So wait,
portals-
you have a mysterious girlfriend.
Yep. Waifu is just on the other side of that town.
You see,
Only
I
we
want to
could-
say your girlfriend from Canada, but Uni is
I am
Canadian.
from Canada,
so-
exactly.
So your girlfriend from question mark question mark question mark question mark.
Your girl from the United States. There.
Mhm.
Oh, gross. Why would you date somebody from the United States?
He's pretty stupid sounding from the sounds.
Yeah, he kind of, I mean, he doesn't really have any other choice. He's pretty stuck in his current position. By the way, I died, and I just came back with half health. Like I got killed by bats, and then I just came back.
You got fucked up by bits.
Yeah. Also, I learned that the symbols of each day represent a sin. So, might be purgatory. Starting to seem a lot like purgatory.
Oh, so you. Oh. And you didn't die when you died, so.
How's
Yeah.
the moon looking? Is it gonna crash into you at any point?
No, I've not seen or heard anything regarding the moon. Anyway, I could probably keep talking about this for quite a while.
Hi, cat.
But we do have a game to play.
Yep.
And I'm actually here before 9:30 for once.
Mm-hmm.
I have dishes to put away. Sorry, I'll hold.
I'm just here coloring, or trying to, as my hand dies. I wonder why I took this.
I'm sorry if you hear me
Yep.
making some lip smacking. I just ate a toaster strudel
You
and it was
better mute
delicious.
yourself.
I was eating
I just finished. Good God.
pizza pops and coffee because I'm classy.
I just ate
Yeah.
chili.
That is the dinner of champions, my dude.
I had
The
some
dinner
bread,
of heartburn.
a tomato, some cheese.
Did you have a sandwich?
No, I had pizza.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just being a fancy.
The way you were describing it sounded like pizza.
It sounded like a sandwich, I have to admit.
I mean, sandwich, yeah. I said pizza for some reason. Darn it, V.
That said, I have to confess something to you guys. If you're not sitting down, you might want to sit down, but I think I've stopped liking pizza.
Really?
Oh. I don't really care for
Choke
pizza
yourself.
either,
Like all
so-
pizza?
Yeah, like just it's not doing anything for me these days. Like whenever my dad like suggests pizza for dinner, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I understand that feeling.
What's wrong with you?
There's,
I don't know.
I mean,
choke
like-
yourself.
I mean, there are some pizzas that are like very, very different, like pierogi pizza and stuff like that. You might want to try that
I
stuff
mean,
out.
It's not even that. It's just I don't eat bread, and pizza is mostly bread.
Yes.
Oh,
This is
well,
true.
yeah, that
I'm
would.
not that big into tomato sauce. Like, I like tomatoes just fine, but tomato sauce doesn't do much for me.
Maybe.
I like the cheese, but that's like
Well,
about it.
if you don't like tomato sauce, and I was gonna suggest like deep dish pizza because that's mostly cheese and sauce, from what I
No.
understand.
When I get pizzas like from a pizza place, I always tell them light on the sauce, please.
Mm. Yep. Nope. Can't help you. Bread is a pretty important ingredient in pizza.
Of pizza, yes.
Yep.
Oh well. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you one more thing about this game before I forget. So I'm trying to make wine for Jerry, and let me tell you the struggle.
Trying to make wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me tell you the struggle, because I can't find
I'll be
a
right
guy
back.
who sells wine. So
What a strange town.
yeah.
Not have wine.
Yeah, well, there's beer. So, step one, find a place to make the wine. Found some posts, little vineyard. I'll use that. Step two, need some seeds. So I got some seeds from the merchant, which I had to look up a wiki to do. That's one problem, is that you need to look at the wiki a lot in this game to find out where anything is.
It's not exactly self-explanatory.
Yeah. So I got the seeds. I plant the seeds. Oh, I also need a wine press, so I need to get all of the stuff for that. A bunch of wood and metal parts and some stone, maybe. And I managed to make that. Oh, I also need a wine fermentation barrel. And it took me a while to figure out where I need to put all these things. The wine press you can put in your basement or in outside, but the barrel you have to put in your basement. Guess that makes sense. So I get all the stuff for the barrel, and I put the barrel together. And then I get some grapes after letting them grow. And I'm like, yeah, now we're in business. So I go over to the press. Oh, I got 4 grapes, and I need like 10. Shit. to make a single thing of grape juice, I guess. I'm like, oh, okay. So
I know the feeling.
So I have to wait another week for the merchant to show up and get some money, buy more seeds, plant more grapes, let the grapes grow, finally have enough, put them all in the press, get the grape juice, go downstairs. You need 2 things of grape juice.
Oh,
So
So
that's...
you need more grapes.
Need more grapes.
you're gonna be going on this cycle for a while. Does Jerry not talk to you during this time, or
Jerry, no, he just hangs out in the morgue. You can talk to
He's always-
him like a little bit, but he really just doesn't have much to say. So that's where I'm at. I think I have enough seeds, because you get some seeds back when you harvest the grapes. But oh my god, it's a long process, and there's a lot of things to get you distracted because there's a lot of things to do in this game.
It really is graveyard harvest mode.
It is.
Yep.
I even-
That's exactly what it is.
I even got fishing recently. I had to find some moths, so I had to learn the technology to collect moths. And then I had to check the wiki because I couldn't find where the moths were. Turns out you have to harvest, or you have to gather flowers, and you'll randomly get a moth. And I got a fishing pole, so now I can fish. So I can complete some other quests that involve fish fillets that I'm not even going to get into. It's a pretty dense game, and I'm really enjoying it, even though it's kind of driving me crazy.
it's a thick game, you might say?
It is, with like 3 C's.
Yeah. Not even just 2, 3. That's ultra thick.
Speaking of thick, we're in the land of the elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know what that has to do with thick though.
The queen.
Yeah, she's pretty thick.
We escaped. Cool.
Yes. You pass
Yay.
into the you pass through the Idar in the Darklands, and you reappear in a pastoral meadow, sort of clearing, very beautiful, very bright, extremely bright for your eyeballs.
I'm glad you're dying.
Vlad, you are currently
On fire.
badly like you are staggered and you are catching fire.
Well, that's like Nick saved me.
Liam grabs
Next
fucking
kind
his
of
parasol.
shifts over to the side.
Liam grabs his parasol and opens it up and pulls it over us.
Thank you, Nim. I'll be right back. Sorry.
TK pats the flames off of Vlad.
Once Vlad is
Best he can do.
successfully covered,
Not on fire.
I'm just gonna say Lyle's disoriented.
oh yeah, for sure, you're all pretty disoriented. It's very different being in like an uneven, cavernous, black landscape to a bright, beautiful pastoral meadow with grass and plants and little huts also you see in the distance. And
Uh-oh.
who is standing in front of you but a large complement of elven soldiers with their bows drawn, and at the very front, Lord Villisteer.
Oh, hey.
And he seems just as surprised to see you as you are to see him.
Sup, dude?
We're back.
Hi.
Save
We
the
have
world.
big news. Get out of the way.
And
Big
he
heroes coming through.
says, I wasn't planning to see you today. Good to see that you're safe, but please, let us take a moment. You're currently technically intruding on sovereign land. So,
Ah, that's illegal, isn't it?
Dude, whatever. Come here. Let me whisper in your ear.
You whisper something terribly haunting.
and as you start to approach, from behind you, you hear a terrible shriek as the retriever comes in through the portal, and is immediately filled with just a blizzard of arrows
Oh, we should probably shut
Oh
that.
man.
from the panicked
Those are
elven guards,
hardcore.
Yeah, we should probably shut that off now that we're all through.
and it collapses to the ground. And
Nick sends the retriever back so they know
the retriever is the size of an elephant.
he'll roll it. It's fine. He can
Lyle
summon a
has-
monster.
Lyle attempts to assist, but is too disoriented and kind of just.
Nick summons an actual elephant.
All right, you guys can make a strength check.
Then we'll try to help with her, negative strength. Just feel like your little like brother kind of sort of situation, trying to help.
Oh, let me see what the strongest monster Nick can summon.
Lyle
Maybe it'll help out.
is too disoriented.
Amazing.
All right, you guys start trying to push it, and Villisteer just sort of he shakes his head, and he seems to have some command or some knowledge of how the Idar works, and he holds up a stone to the rock arch, and it closes. He says,
Great.
"Don't worry about it. We'll bury it somewhere." And also,
Sorry
yeah.
about that.
Come here. Nick puts his arm around his shoulder.
hmm
And he tells him about this whole, world-ending meteor plot.
Hmm.
He whispers it so the rest of the elves don't hear because they already look on edge.
Yeah.
And his expression darkens as you speak to him.
Is it darkening because it probably sounds like some crazy ass bullshit?
Well, Villisteer is in the know, unlike the other elves, which he explains to you. He says that a lot of the most of the elven population doesn't even know the drow are a thing. It's just really the higher ups. Like, they do their absolute best to keep it under wraps.
Sorry.
You're fine.
And he thanks you for being discreet about it in front of the guards.
Discreet as my little man.
And he says, "All right then." Seems like a good time to set up a meeting with the Queen. I think I can get that done as soon as today. We're quite close, actually. You're in the village of... Let's find it.
No, I've missed a spot.
Oh, apparently you're supposed to make it fort save to prevent being nauseated, but who cares?
You want us to do it?
That's
I'm
okay.
sure most of us have made it anyway.
I mean, Dim's just like kind of basking. Now she's on TK's shoulder, just like, yeah,
Like a lizard.
done.
Okay, Alexis is also happy that she's back in the sunshine.
The only source of darkness is Nyx.
And that's why Vlad is sticking close to Nyx.
You're in the village of Siavenian. I preside over this village, so it's quite fortunate that you managed to find the elf gate that connected directly to us. We're only 2 hours walk from the capital, yeah. So please just keep your weapons away, and we shouldn't have any problem on the approach.
TK tucks his hands into his pockets
Thank you very much.
and
for that.
walks to the capital.
And he
Yeah,
fought.
just, puts her arms around TK's neck.
Yep, that's fine. Just hang tough up there.
Okay. So yeah, he begins walking you there. You're, living in Ustalov, it's kind of a darker climate as well, and you noticed back then how like warm and nice everything was in this country. But coming from the Darklands, it really makes a difference. The sunlight, the heat, the warmth in general is very welcome to most of you.
Vlad hates it.
Don't worry, Alexis will be treasuring these moments.
Dim has been living in.
By the time she comes home.
As soon as I get back to the Wolf Kingdom, I'm working on my tan.
Dim's
And,
been living in Katapesh for years now. This is like, wow, this isn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the walk through the idyllic forest is quite pleasant, even though you are being accompanied by a complement of kind of suspicious guards.
Being, Elvin.
Fucking knife ears.
Like suspicious and also kind of curious. You had this experience before when you were... Man, can you tell that I was listening to Critical Role? Because I feel like I'm Matt Mercering really hard right now.
I don't
No,
watch Critical Role.
I'll call you on it when you tell us how we want to end a creature.
The forest, it's really nice. The guards, kind of suspicious. Right, curious. And yeah, you had this experience before because you figure a lot of them haven't seen a non-elf or like in ever. And elves live a while. So eventually,
Oh, go ahead. What's Nick's doing?
Nyx takes the opportunity to slip away.
you're being
Just
observed
gotta
by
disappear from the guard.
many guards.
They can observe me all they want. I can hide in plain sight.
In what terrain?
In all terrain.
Are you sure you don't have to pick a terrain for that? Because rangers
I
are
am
rogues.
absolutely sure.
V?
Here, let me show you.
As I vanish from your very eyes.
Like Houdini.
As I actually vanish from your very eyes.
Hellcat stealth, huh? Let's look at this.
Bright light even when observed.
Uh-huh.
Normally.
That's the benefit.
But you can't do it in dim light or darkness. That's funny.
It's normally a
So,
I mean there's to shade the trees, but
Right now, all I can imagine is that the guards are like looking right up, and then he vanishes, and then it's like, ah, shit, he just disappeared. I'm gonna get fired.
So you leave, and a couple of guards shout in panic, and Villastir turns around, and he does kind of a quick head count, and then he's like, He holds a hand out, and everyone stops.
Mm.
And he says, where did he go?
Where did he go?
he did.
Oh, you know, he's just
still in
around.
formation.
I was like, hey, he's fine. He does this all the time. He'll be back. Don't worry.
I'm not moving this compliment until he comes back.
Now,
Nix!
how long are you planning
Who?
on
Okay. I can see how
Uh,
this is
Fine. Asteria, will you please come out?
Bitches.
I heard that, young man.
Alexis didn't do it. That was all Vlad.
Oh, you goddamn bitch.
Don't you speak to me that way.
I understand that you may not be comfortable, but I assure you, you're completely safe.
I'm gonna tell on you to Ashardi, and she's gonna be like so disappointed in you.
What?
Nix complies, but he's like, I don't like this.
What are we complying with?
I'm not good with crowds.
I understand, but we have to be careful. I can only imagine the trouble I would get into if there were reports of a tiefling sneaking about in the area.
That's
I
racist.
wasn't sneaking, I was standing on.
Uh-huh.
You did not move out of formation.
He waves his hand to continue everyone walking. And
That's racist.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Slightly racist.
Nyx tried to stealth away from everyone. And
Oh,
it
Nix,
resulted
gotta
in...
Stay here.
Villastir saying we're not moving until he comes back.
Yep.
He did get away. They were like, what the
Yeah, I wasn't gonna even roll their
How?
perception on that.
Especially with that modifier being super high. Holy crap.
And as you leave the... as the forest kind of parts and gives way to the capital, the first thing you notice is the light. It's even brighter here. Glorious, streaming through the leaves of trees high above and washing over the ground in waves of sun and soft shade. And here and there it glances off the windows of graceful towers and austere buildings with exquisitely carved wooden eaves. The ground,
Vlad
too.
is disgusted.
I throw a
Alexis
fire
feels
blanket
blessed.
on Vlad. Just cover up. That'll be alright.
The ground, too, is made up of thousands upon thousands of inlaid wooden tiles, polished and glowing in the hue of a warm hearth, with designs as intricate as the most delicate gold jewelry. So I guess the sidewalk is like really nice, the walkways. And it's like all wood and pristine and well carved. Elves move to and fro, or gather to talk in light, carefree tones, and all of them, from tradesmen to the elite of elven society, are dressed in elegant but functional garb and adorned with understated gold and silver trinkets of the highest quality. Colorful birds flit through the air, and you can just make out a recurring melody in their song that brings to mind lazy summer days and hours of indolent pleasure. The sound of countless burbling fountains fills the air, and the sense of pristine woodland and delicate wildflowers grace every intake of breath. Didn't have that description last time.
It's disgusting, says Vlad.
It's so.
Austere. It is. It's a very beautiful, very clean, as far as being in the woods, city. And, as the formation walks through, you once again get people looking at you. Some of them trying or point. No, they're straight up pointing. They're pointing, and they're even a few of them say hello as you walk by.
Vlad is very upset because he doesn't like all this sunlight. So all his responses come down to draw a picture, it'll last longer.
Nyx doesn't say anything. He just looks at them with that weird mask of his.
Now, that'll be nice to the common folk. Look at them, they love us.
Alexis, she's
They're so curious, they've never seen anything like me before. Or maybe they're pointing at Nim. It's hard to tell.
Look at the short one.
Oh god.
Well, you get a few of them saying like, "Oh, is that a gnome?" No, it's a halfling. They're different.
At least they know the difference.
His entire face falls as she gets called a gnome.
There's
Alexis pats him on the shoulder.
those of you with decent knowledge of geography know that there's a pretty large gnome community that lives south of Iadara. Inside Keonan.
Even common this time in her best.
What they mean is, Nim, you need they're starting to get out of control.
Oh, so they're going to try to exterminate me?
No.
Like a cockroach? Because our population's getting out of control?
Your eyebrows are getting out of control.
I also can't hear that well.
Okay, Vlad's gonna stop real quick right now. And he's gonna be like, don't let anyone talk to you about your eyebrows are perfect. Only stank-ass people have bad eyebrows. You know it's true.
Yeah.
Excellent point.
Like, he even throws out, like, historical names, like, everyone, and they'll, if you think about it, they all have bad eyebrows.
Nyx has never once considered that.
Yeah, Vlad's even like, evidence!
And 60 years later, 70 years later, he'll be like, Jovalia Throne didn't have stank-ass eyebrows.
And then Vlad will be like, you didn't look close enough. If you look close enough, you would have seen that they were a centimeter off kilter. Disgusting.
I have to double check the illustrations to see how strong her eyebrows were. I'm honestly not sure.
And then coloring hell saved me.
And then you make your way all the way to the palace, the familiar site of the main entrances leading to the Viridian throne. And Villastir says, "I'll go ahead and let the queen know that you're coming. Just stay here. If you wish, I can give you a chance to change into more suitable clothing, perhaps bathe."
Can Nyx leave now?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you for escorting us all the way here.
It's not a problem. Chambers are right there. Just let them know that I sent you, and they should prepare you appropriately.
Lyle actually just goes over there as he's
And
explaining.
yeah, you guys are absolutely drenched in sweat and just suffering big fatigue.
Prestidigitation.
Eh.
Vlad would like to point out he is damn perfect.
Prestidigitation. It lets you clean up very quickly.
Yeah,
Takes 6 seconds.
it's true. So Nyx doesn't take a relaxing bath.
Oh yeah.
Well, holy crap!
The only thing
he's
is,
got
Lyle
buttons,
may have accidentally fallen asleep in the bath and had to wait to be woken up.
Oh.
Yeah, as soon as you open the door, Nyx is just already in. Took you.
It's just them talking about the time it's her bath time. It's just like already naked. She's been waiting. They're like, let me in.
Yep.
Yes,
I'm on
you're
bath. It's bath time.
you're allowed in. Those of you who partake are also left a courtier's outfit of elven design to change into if you wish.
I don't know.
Oh god, do they
I
give me
will
like
not.
kids' clothes?
Yes.
Here.
Goody.
It's not like they're short. It's not like they're short adult elves.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did
It's
they
an-
like give
it's
me
an
kids'
adult-
clothes?
It's an
No,
adult
they give her
size
child. They give her child-sized clothes.
Yeah,
They
that's
give her
all.
baby size clothes.
well, thankfully they do entertain the presence of gnomes sometimes, so they do have things in your size.
No.
They're a little wide.
No.
But they are a little ostentatious and colorful, as befits the gnomes' typical tastes.
Nyx asks if they have anything in black.
They have things in earthy tones.
Great. Obsidian is earth.
They prepare you something. It's a little closer to brown than black, unfortunately.
Fuck it. Prestidigitation. Turn it black.
Yes, she was messing with it.
Great.
Actually, Nim's gonna like find like the quietest out that she can, and she's gonna go, Nix, help! Please change it.
What do you want it to be?
Like white and reds and pinks.
Prestidigitation.
I was about to say we can get something in
Oh.
highly colors.
Never mind then.
TK is gonna
Go to the
the tunic that they brought him. He's gonna raise it up. He's gonna rip the sleeves off, and he's gonna.
And for everyone except for TK, they also ask for you to leave your weapons with them.
They asked TK to like, put his hands in like weird gauntlet things that'll keep him from punching.
TK keeps his hands to himself.
So that's on my crossbow.
What are we
Weapons?
doing?
I don't carry weapons.
Vlad definitely does not carry weapons.
Lyle hands over the only weapon he has, which is fancy looking. Yay, fancy.
Listen, Vlad right now, like, if his parasol looks like a weapon to them, he absolutely refuses to give it up because those bitch-ass drow, excuse me, those bitch-ass foreigners gotta watch his language in front of these people. These bitch-ass foreigners from down under went ahead and got
those
their
fucking
grabby hands on this
Australians.
thing. Yes, drow are Australians. They
Nim's like,
literally live in the land down under.
Nim's like, do I have to give up my shield? It's the only thing I have.
They prefer if you did. Also, Nyx, roll sleight of hand.
I can do that.
I wonder if holy water and silver sheen counts as weapons.
I believe in myself.
Yeah, I'll leave them here to just be on the safe side.
Vlad will fight anyone who tries to take his parasol.
Thankfully, the elves do know what parasols are, so they don't
Good.
believe that it's a dangerous item.
Good.
They think the parasol is harmless.
Nyx again says he does not carry weaponry. That's a stereotype.
They believe you.
Yeah, Nim.
I mean, they may not believe you, but they frisk you at the door and they don't find anything.
Nyx learned a few things from the drow, like sticking things up his butt.
God!
That was an involuntary lesson.
It's nature's pocket. Get in there.
I'm dead.
So am I.
Nature's pocket. Oh my god.
And you are. Eventually, Vilsteer comes back. He says, "The queen will welcome you in now."
Alrighty. Is everyone else ready?
All right, let's go see the queen. Oh, no.
Nimble.
So, entering.
Wait a minute. Where's Lyle? What a mess.
He passed out in the bath.
Yeah, he's sleeping in the bathtub.
He did, but they woke him up. He's waking up.
Lyle,
so-
don't drown, please.
He didn't. They
Yeah,
woke
let's
him up.
get him up.
No, they woke him up,
Crazy.
and he's dressed. He's
Mhm.
out of the bath.
Your muscles
just
feel nice and relaxed after all that.
Yeah, he's
After all that hiking through the Darklands. Nyx, yours feel the same, unfortunately.
That's exactly how I prefer to feel. I'm Batman.
Vlad may be drooling at Nyx.
As you
Oh, Alexis is happy with her new clothing.
walk in through the towering silver and crystal double doors from the palace entrance, a herald loudly proclaims all of you as arriving. Now entering Nim, Zujani, TK, Nyx, Vlad, the hero Lyle, Vassam, and Alexis.
As we drag Vassam's unconscious body.
Yeah.
Yep.
the song's probably just
Walking,
wandering.
dragging him.
He's just probably wandering behind us. Honestly.
There's a
Doing the finger guns at, any elf ladies looking interested. Hey.
Oh my god.
there's a short, broad flight of marble stairs that lead into a vast hall. Light filters in from above through wide crystal windows to focus on a dais, perhaps 100 yards distant. Several richly garbed elves, speaking quietly among themselves, stand in the gathering near the dais, on which a single throne of living vines and delicate wooden branches sits. And seated upon that throne is a regal, beautiful elf woman with an intense gaze and an almost challenging expression. Upon her brow is a crown of delicate vines and violets. She nods at you as you approach.
Yo, Talandia, what's up? We're back.
Welcome, welcome again.
TK!
I'm glad to see you safe.
Likewise. But,
We do not-
you were right about the whole, Drow planning to come up and destroy the surface world. But we took care of that.
No, we didn't.
No, you didn't.
Oh, it wasn't.
Just-
It wasn't me who discovered that plot. It was it was the hero Lyle here who spurred the elves to action.
Yeah, remember it was me who.
I simply gave the okay for the mission. But please, tell me what you've learned.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Lyle.
You're welcome.
The
Nyx immediately opens up.
As he appears from nowhere.
Yeah, Mim's like, oh yeah, Aboleth magic. They're gonna try. You know how they did the Aboleth like way back when they caused that Age of Darkness thing when they summoned a big old meteor on Galarian?
Yeah, they want to do that again.
Yes, you guys.
Or at least a particular clan does.
On
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
hand, 99% of other don't.
Really
Don't care. They're very happy with their situation. In fact, so happy they decided to fuck with us at the end and actually tore down our disguises.
oh dear.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun running from them and not dying.
And the nobles are surrounding the queen are kind of like muttering among themselves. Villastir's among them as well, and one of them kind of says, "And how did you find this information?"
You
Are you fucking serious?
did,
look
did
over at
they
Lyle.
not know the plan?
The plan. Well, the you've never seen these particular nobles before. They seem to just be advisors and stuff who are trying to vet you, trying to figure out
No.
Went there.
figure out the exact details and make sure that you're not lying.
We went to Zerna, Canaan.
Very
We
scenic.
disguised ourselves as one of their own and integrated into one of their main houses.
House what? Vonarch? Was that
Vonarch.
the one
Yeah,
we were
Vonarch.
in?
Bonnie was the one who went into.
Where we
And
serve.
look what we brought. And Vlad takes out a bat Rolex.
Oh my goodness, it's real.
Oh, that poor creature.
It
This
tells
is how they
time
tell time.
amazingly, though.
Surely not. What a cruel people those drow are.
The bats are pretty
Yeah.
happy.
Vlad
We keep
was
them.
about to jump to their defense, and then like his mouth came open, and then he was like, he starts nodding, like, yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. That's a fair
You
fair statement.
can't deny that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
One of the nobles speaks up and says, "Would you mind if we cast a couple of spells just to make sure that you are indeed speaking the entire truth?"
The truth.
Nyx is immune to discern lies.
Unless she can be red and nods her head, because even though she knows that her comrades are speaking the truth, better safe than sorry.
Meanwhile, Vlad is just like, bitch, you don't know me. He's in a very foul mood right now.
Lyle's eyebrow kind of twitches. It's very unnoticeable, though. It's just, do you really not
Nyx-
believe what we say?
Nyx says, yeah, but I didn't go, so cast your spells on them.
Mm. One of them approaches and pulls a holy symbol of Callistria, actually, out of his robes.
Elves like Calistria.
Vlad flinches, and then he's like, fine, just put the thing away. God damn.
And he
Oh yeah, holy symbol.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh shit! I forgot.
And
I
Nemo
know.
was last year's earlier.
Yeah,
I
Nim
thought
had heard
Vlad just
that.
didn't like Calistria.
No, Vlad would love Callistria. She's about partying too.
Yeah. It's just somebody flashing the symbol. It's Vlad doesn't.
No, it's strongly presenting a symbol. If you just hold up your symbol, it's fine.
Oh.
If you're like, here, look at this.
A recoil, yeah, they recoil from the holy symbols. He can actually make a save to, like, try to, like, overcome his revulsion, but really, what's the fucking point here?
So basically, they cast a couple of spells, Zone of Truth, and they start, and they start going at you with questions. They also cast another spell, and then like the guy who cast it immediately is like, and then turns his head to look at. Well, I don't know, who's evil.
Mm,
Vlad.
everyone just kind of glances at Vlad.
Everyone looks at Vlad.
Alexis glances at Vlad, then she immediately shrugs her shoulders because it's like, it's Vlad.
He saved the world once, it's fine.
And yeah, Villastir vouches for him, saying, "Yes, we were aware of his condition when he was hired on. He's on the good word of the hero Nyx here."
My self-interests align with
Ew.
what's going on here.
The heroes.
No,
Whatever
kiss
the
me.
case, Vlad has this expression like, I just came out to have a good time, and I'm feeling so attacked right now.
Nim's like, it's okay, Vlad. I still love you. You're still my best friend.
Yeah.
One of my
Still like
best
you,
friends.
Vlad?
hmm And the queen throughout this whole questioning period is like kind of is like going between being kind of bored and being like sort of cartoonishly enraptured, saying things like, "Oh, surely not," and stuff like that. And
Zoo Jenny is absolutely hamming it up.
yeah, and as you and when no one else is looking, none of the nobles, she kind of she gives a very keenly interested look at you guys, as though to imply that she is very aware of how dangerous the situation is.
Oh, so she just acts like an heir.
Oh,
Okay then.
sneaky.
And then when someone looks, she like goes back to her like kind of like bored and like sort of pretending to be confused about the whole thing.
Like, oh my god, what are they saying?
Oh, what? A meteor coming to destroy all of us and doom our
What's a meteor? Oh my god.
The audacity that they would even suggest such a thing. Oh yeah, we get it. Just playing politics, just keep everyone cool.
And once they've asked all the questions that they want to and such, she's like just sort of still looking at you with sort of like a eyes half closed expression and sort of lost in thought. And then Villastir sort of taps her on the hand lightly and says, my queen? And she's like, were
you falling asleep, lady?
Our apologies. We're leagues away. Well, your tale is surely riveting and certainly one worthy of the bards. Villastir, perhaps they can return to Kionan to tell it again sometime. Perhaps next year at the Midsummer Feast. Please make arrangements.
Midsummer feast? Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Oh, it is. It's spectacular. You have never eaten better food. And this is coming from a queen.
Oh, I certainly
coming from an
hope I
elf
bring
queen.
My husband and my little girl with me.
We may even prepare some meat dishes for you. I'm come to understand that the local cuisine may not be to everyone's liking.
Lyle shrugs.
Everyone stares at Vlad.
Lyle kind of shrugs. He's like, I like your guys' food.
And,
I mean, he had to live there for a while.
True.
and then she waves Villastir away and he leaves. And then she sort of confides with the nobles quietly for a moment and finally turns to you once more and says, thank you so much for visiting us today. We cannot remember when we have... By the way, she's doing the royal we now.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've been so entertained, though perhaps the next time you tell this tale you should add in some dragons and perhaps a captive princess with a handsome suitor who comes to her rescue. And
Im's about to snap.
Perhaps.
Calm yourself.
perhaps leave out all that...
Just calm emotions on yourself.
She can.
Yeah, she could. And perhaps leave out all that distasteful nonsense about falling stars. You must consider the sensibilities of your audience, after all.
But of course.
The mayor of Crying Leaf provided us such a dire account of the attack on Selwynvian and Lyle's discoveries of a drow plot that we pledged to aid in the investigation and gave the young lady full control of how she wanted to proceed. Imagine our shock when she told us to hire outsiders for our mission and offer them rewards that our nation has not gifted to outsiders in so many centuries. In any event, we shall take your tale under advisement. Kionan seers and diviners are second to none, and given time, we trust that they shall secure the truth of these matters. The divinations may take some time, perhaps a week. Until such time as they are ready to advise us further, I advise you to remain in Iadara at the accommodations we have provided you. You may take these next days to rest and relax and recover from your ordeals. When we have our reports from our diviners, we wish to speak to you again on what might be done if, Calistria Forfend, your tales are as true as you fear.
Of course.
Very well.
Thank you ever so much.
Yes. We'll wait the week out until we know what action is best to take next.
Oh.
In the meantime, I have noticed that many of your people are very magically gifted. Is there anyone here who is a teleporter?
Oh, of course. Do you have need of anything?
You need a bigger teleport than I can.
There is a place I would like to see.
Hmm.
Preferably before, darkness falls tonight, if possible.
Oh, are you the werewolf?
Mm,
Alexis,
Maybe.
Yes.
Done. And this is the one who has moon and stars in our domain. Holy shit!
I am,
He's the werewolf.
Canine
I'm the
inclined.
yes.
I can provide you a safe place if you need to wait out the night.
If it's all the same to you,
Can you provide jerky?
to, sit the night out with the rest of my kind.
Hmm.
Although it is a far distance from here.
Understandable. Villastir should be outside. He can provide you a teleportation.
All of
Thank
a
you.
sudden, I'm remembering when we first started this out. Oh gosh, sorry about that. But yeah, I'm just imagining, when we found out where Nim was, and then he was like, he like opens up his wallet, and then he's like, oh gosh, the queen is not gonna be happy with this.
Nim, don't go with TK. You will actually
You might
see
actually
werewolves.
It's okay. She's just gonna party in the light all on her own.
Listen, she's with party elves. She'll have herself a grand time.
She doesn't like the fucking Burkwall elves. Fuck them.
Yeah, she
Give him a chance. You gotta make new friends.
Fuck these snobby bitches.
she nods, and the audience is concluded. And you're,
Milo leaves to go
Wow.
for a walk.
yep, you
The
are
audience
escorted
is
out.
concluded, and then that jingle in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent timing.
And yeah, now
Can we say
you're
that actually happened?
you're basically now free to explore Iadara. You have personal holdings. I'll show them to you now, I suppose.
Nyx is gonna use 3 of these. His new incredible renown to spread his area of renown even further.
I still have that. I still have this map marked as Zernicanen, but I assure you it's not. They're your lodgings, and I think I don't have your characters here, so I'll just quickly grab them from a different map.
Cool.
I was about to say, if you need
Let
help
me
with
see.
mine, I can point it up to you like they split.
Let me see what this.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a cat.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, there you guys are. You each provided a key.
I have to see if this does exactly what I think it does first.
Sure.
Maggie, please.
Well, I did say he went for a walk.
Okay, true.
Probably also be a certain elf.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Lyle does have a girlfriend.
Unfortunately, your girlfriend is in Crying Leaf, which is
Which
kind
is
of
miles away.
yeah.
He goes to. He just goes for a walk then.
Hmm. Yep, there we go.
What are you doing?
What?
Turning my
Yeah.
private holdings into a safe house, so it can't be affected by scrying of any kind. Any kind
Oh,
of
cool.
I'm adding an underground hideout.
Some escape tunnels.
That's exactly what it does.
Yep.
Is it a spell?
No, it's a vigilante ability.
How long does it take to convert it to a safe house?
As long as it takes me to get my renown up, which is 3 days since I had triumphant return
All right. Well,
instead of a whole week.
as you start digging out the floor, one of the elf guards politely asks you to not.
Hey, if I'm digging out the floor, they won't even notice. I'll just cover it up with an illusion till I can install a trapdoor.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
fine.
gosh, why are you like this?
Sure. I mean, if the rest of the party doesn't do anything to stop you, sure.
I'm not gonna stop you. I think it sounds like a great idea.
What's
Alexis
happening?
is not gonna bother because she knows Nick's long enough to where, you know, he'll do
Nix
whatever
is
the fuck he
installing a
wants.
safe
Then
house.
good.
Lyle won't even bother trying to stop him. It's like, you do what you need to. Literally.
That, but she thinks that he has at least most of the party's safety in mind, so.
Listen, Alexis, you can never be too cautious.
It's 10 feet per vigilante level. That's 110 feet of safe house.
It's his bat cave.
I know everything looks nice here. Everything seems cozy and comfortable. Don't forget where we came from. And don't forget what lies ahead.
I have
Oh, that
bed
tunnel.
caves literally everywhere. I even have one in Zernican.
So, apparently we're not alone.
Yeah, Lyle is right
Well, I
over
mean,
there.
we do have like elf escorts, who I guess
Oh.
are making
Yeah,
sure we're
she's
safe.
just kind of guarding the place.
Oh, she's just.
She's very polite.
Okay.
She welcomes you on behalf of the queen.
And Alexis will, politely, respond. It's good to see you.
What's your name?
What's your name, bitch?
Vida.
Sense motive.
Nice to make you
You have to
Oh my
sense
God.
motive about your
31.
name.
Is she telling
Um,
the truth?
Well, you
Is that
don't.
her name?
Who she says she is.
She seems to be telling the truth,
Okay, good.
though.
With the drow too long, man.
This one checks out.
She just seems a little flustered to be hanging out with humanoids.
Oh.
Don't worry.
I
You're
will fight your
humanoid.
ankles.
I'm not. I'm an outsider.
Don't worry, I don't bite.
Different
I will bite
humanoids.
your ankles.
Vlad just looks her up and down and he goes, "Your hair is fabulous."
Ah.
Oh, I don't do anything special with it.
Nix hides the shovel behind his bed.
Oh, so it's naturally this wonderful. Glorious.
Sorry.
Alright, so, where's our stuff? Is it these rooms in here?
Well, I can
That it?
I can describe them, I guess. Huh?
Are those our lodgings?
The whole inside of that
The
building.
whole place?
The whole apartment is our lodging.
Alright, A5 is Nix's secret hideout. In 3 days, there will be a bat cave. There will be a bat cave underneath this building,
Mm.
and he'll show it to you as
A1
soon as
is,
it's ready.
Miles taking this room over here, by the way.
Mm.
Okay, so that means TK and Nim are gonna take the other side of A5.
Yup. TK
Yeah.
just
A1 is
power bombs Nim onto this bed.
Loot!
Nim goes scarlet and is like,
A1 is, let's see, the entryway. A2 is the sitting room. Modestly appointed, but the owners provided a bottle of fine elven
This
wine
one.
and 8 crystal wine goblets for guests. So there's
So Jenny, get over here.
a bunch of wine in the sitting room for you. Very, very good quality. A3 is the living area. There's a settee, 2 rocking chairs, and a low table. A4's got the small bedrooms, single bed, freestanding wardrobe, and a chamber pot. A5's got a large bedroom, double beds, cleverly hidden closets in the walls. You could find them. And another chamber pot. A6 is the patio. Raised platform,
As I
about 12 feet off the ground outside. There's a 3-foot
Oh
railing,
shit,
just
we're
wide enough to
rich
sit
enough
on.
to have a. We're rich enough right now to have a raised patio, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nyx as a level 11 vigilante.
We're
Sorry,
in good with
Except
the
literally.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Nagi?
I said, oh wait, then I'll just take the other side of A5 since
Mhm.
Nick took off to over here to A4.
Yeah, he
And
wants the small room.
Ace,
Yeah, Vlad will stalk in the room next to. Probably drilling.
Smell him.
Hey,
Yeah, he's probably like drilling
Smell
a
him through the
hole in the
wall.
wall. Like I'm gonna watch you.
Nyx puts up a poster. He's like, now it feels like home.
Poster over the hole.
No, it's not a poster.
Yes.
It's a giant framed painting of his wife.
That's exactly what it is. And Vlad just like he has a sense of what's on that painting.
It would be, but Nyx doesn't like, people knowing what his wife looks
were
like.
you carrying that the whole
Whatever
time?
the case, Vlad is just like
That's the reason he didn't answer Nim's.
No, it wasn't Nim, it was Vlad.
What? What are you talking about?
no.
No,
I'm
Vlad.
saying that
Different.
I'm saying that Nyx doesn't like people knowing about his personal life.
Yeah, so I didn't answer my fucking letter.
So he just puts up a poster of his favorite drow band, Black Shaga.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so Vlad is kind of like dejectedly like staring at the back of the poster through that little hole he drilled, and then he's like, "Well, at least I can smell him."
What?
Nyx has no scent.
Not a little unhealthy, Vlad.
You can smell brimstone from Zoo Jenny, but Nyx has no scent.
Vlad's dejected.
And
I get knocked out of the darkness. Everybody starts judging me because I'm evil. Gosh.
I want to point out that A7, the washroom, features a crystal wash basin and a cupboard of soaps and towels.
Fancy.
Yeah, man.
David's gonna go in there and stare at that and go, oh my god. Oh my god, these people are such snobs.
Vlad's gonna look at the wash basin and he's gonna like get starved. And then he's like, "Oh my god, my reflection! I look fabulous."
You don't see your reflection.
They're not silver-backed.
Silver. That's white mirrors.
Ah,
Yeah.
damn
Don't.
it. Right.
It's not silverback, he's chill. He's huge.
I mean, if the mirrors were silverbacks, then he wouldn't see his reflection. But if they're not silverbacks,
But they're crystal.
Kind of crystal mirrors, man. He could
Yeah,
see himself probably for the first time.
then he should see his reflection.
I could just hear Vlad in modern day. I look fabulous.
He says that now. You don't have to say it's modern day.
I could. No, I mean in the modern day. Or not a lot of people say that apparently. From what I've heard, I could just hear him saying it.
Fabulous. Anyway,
Not like that.
So TK, you wanted to go back to the forest for a night.
Yeah, I'm gonna see about that teleporter. See if they can actually take me to the Wolf Kingdom.
Yeah,
So I can
Villastir's been-
transform with the evil peeps. Plus, kind of need to know how they're doing. Has the kingdom like fallen to ruin? Is everything still good? Did like a rival group of lycanthropes move in next door in like the forest next to ours, and we gotta like
Overthrow them?
David,
I just need to know what's up.
Because Alexis has technically been away from her castle for a month, and she still hasn't heard word from her husband about how things have gone up there. So
They're going fine, probably.
You've been underground the whole
worry.
time.
that is also true.
Underground for weeks. Anything could have happened.
I know, but now that she brought up her husband and her daughter when the party was talking to the queen, now she actually is kind of getting concerned for them. Because she misses them.
I mean,
Understandable.
you're not the only one who misses their kid. Points to his mom.
Yeah.
He hasn't visited her.
I like that Vassam, because Jax isn't here, is just standing outside with the elf lady.
Yeah. It's like, oh, how
Probably
you,
trying to
finger
get-
gun?
Hey girl, you want
Oh
some
my God.
book?
Oh my god.
You want blue?
I'm sorry. I'm also laughing at the in-game chat because
Yeah,
of
the in-game
Vlad.
chat's great.
But yes, Villastir will happily teleport you over to the... Was it the Fangwood Forest? I feel like... That can't be right. That's got to be from somewhere, something else.
I honestly
Whatever.
never wrote it down.
That
so I'm not
forest
sure.
in Ustala.
The forest in Ustla, what has all the werewolves in it. And then quickly teleports out. Because he doesn't want to stay there.
You know,
Okay, cool.
I can't
He'll come back
blame
for
him.
me like tomorrow, right?
He says he
He's
will.
already gone.
He says he will, but you have to meet him by the lodge that Uni hated.
Right.
Well, let's get heading.
Ascanor Lodge. The name is burned into my mind.
Imagining we're a little bit of ways
much.
away from, like, the wolf den. So,
Mhm.
how are things? Just gonna go over there.
Well, yeah, making your way over. Several of the werewolves. They eye you in the forest. You see them between the trees, slinking around, keeping a distance from you. You're starting to get a feeling like they want to keep away for some reason. You would normally be
Oh.
greeted at least. You would at least be like recognized.
Where's his wolf secretary?
And as you make your way toward the observatory,
Okay.
you see that there's a bit more blood trickling down than usual from the stone roof, and after a couple of the werewolf sentries there see you, they howl, and your
Is it a friendly howl?
Yeah, is it the howl of? I assume it's the howl of, like, bring others to hear something's happening.
Mhm.
But is TK still being like?
Is he still the werewolf queen?
No. I don't really need to ask. Queen, I'm just going to go ahead and assume so. So TK is just going to look for the shortest distance between him and whoever is spying on him or keep an eye on him right now, and he's just going to sprint after him at full speed with his monk, and
my-
charge, throw him into a tree, and say, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Holy
Yep.
shit.
You see one werewolf from the corner of your eye who isn't quick enough. And you go full sprint into him, and despite like the bulk of being like a werewolf, you in your still human form manage to slam his face into a tree, and he's kind of like and
Well said.
like a dejected.
Your king shows up after weeks have gone away, and you are treating me like I'm a common prey. What is this? Where is everyone?
Where's the trigger? Where's Rachel?
Why is there? Why do I smell blood? Explain yourself, or so help me, I will knock the fangs from your mouth.
It wasn't me. It was.
Who?
But trying to come up with a name.
Balthazar the
Sure.
Destroyer.
Balthazar.
Eric!
Balthazar. He says he comes from the remnants of the demon wolves. He came up. He said your leadership was weak, and he took over.
Oh, well.
We tried to fight him off. Well, I didn't try to fight him. A lot of people tried to fight him off. He got some support. There was a fight. Now he is up at the top. He's in charge now.
Great. Well,
But you have the. But you are the rightful pack lord still. So all you need to do is go up there and murder him.
Well, we did that once before. Well, he did that once before. He ate a heart once before.
He shoved the whole thing in his mouth and kept
He
it
did
down.
not chew it. He
Uh,
chewed
just
it.
I'm gonna sense motive on this guy. Does he seem like he was kind of like a supporter of mine before this went down, or is he like just saying what he needs to say? So I'll let my guard down.
Ow.
Does he seem loyal?
You get the impression that he's loyal to whoever is the one in charge.
I'll work with it. TK is going to slightly let off the pressure between pushing this guy's head into the tree. He's gonna say, I want you to call the pack. All of my supporters. If you can, none of Balthazar's.
That as well.
I need you to rally my people to me as quickly as possible. And if you do it within the next 10 minutes, I won't break your femur.
Ooh, femur. Yikes.
Oh, owie.
Okay.
Off you go.
He runs off. He actually goes into the lower floors of the observatory. And a few minutes later, a handful of werewolves, including your secretary, come back out.
Cool.
And they say,
I approach the observatory and my secretary.
they're like, "Oh, good, you're back. We tried to keep the peace as long as we could, and that lasted about 5 days."
Yep, that's to be expected. So, this Balthazar guy, was he? Tell me more about him. He says he comes from the, was it the Demon Wolves? Was he just like coming from a neighboring clan of werewolves trying to take over? Or is,
You remember
what do
that?
we know about him?
You remember that the demon wolves were the ones that that were attacking the dead village when you guys were there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They were after the Pack Lord's heart originally, but you managed to thwart them.
Yeah.
Balthazar is just kind of a rabble rouser amongst them, and without you here, him and the demon wolves managed to muscle their way to the top.
Great. How many of the Demon Wolves are there?
Currently, they're a lot of them are out hunting. Balthazar, I believe, is up there with his mates. About 2 of them.
Then I'll take 2 of you with me.
Hmm.
Secretary, you stay.
All right.
And I'll just pick the 2 of my strongest looking supporters and march my way up there.
Old man Scott and the town drunk.
T-Bone, you're with me.
Bob from accounting.
You help the secretary.
Mom from accounting, you help the secretary. Oh my god.
I'm gonna go clear. I'm gonna need to go re-usurp my throne real quick. So this will be just a few minutes.
You know how to fight, T-Bone? I take that as a solid yes.
I've seen you taking down elk, but can you take down a fellow wolf?
Sure, man, I could take down a fellow wolf.
Your secretary says, TK,
Yes, ma'am.
make a show of it.
Yeah!
Oh, he wants you to
Make it
rip his fucking
bloody.
throat out.
TK cracks his knuckles and walks on.
All right.
Oh boy.
You make your way up the stairs, spiral around the circumference of the observatory. There's a couple of werewolves in the way, but they quickly flee as they see you, because amongst werewolves you are particularly strong in this pack,
A legend, even.
There you
You're level
go.
11.
and they're you get a very you get a vibe of, oh shit, dad's home. This
Balthazar!
you feel like this revolution may have been poorly thought out.
You guys just throwing angry glares at every dissenting looking wolf that's in the room. So he looks for which of these punk ass bitches is Balthazar.
You make your way to the very top of the
Someone
observatory,
sitting on your throne.
where a nice sort of nest of furs, a couple of dead animals.
Off my chair, Jester.
Magnum size
king.
condoms.
A couple of burly female werewolves
Ooh. I mean,
on either side of a
Sora?
lean but mad looking, and it seems kind of fiend blooded werewolf who's currently gnawing on a human skull. He kind of looks at you, and he says, "Ah, there he is, the seat warmer."
Oh,
I don't know why you're talking about yourself like that.
Yeah, I know, funny, I was about to say the same to you. How many days did you wait till I was away to take the throne again? 3? 4?
He looks puzzled for a moment, and he says, "Oh, it would have been, what comes after 4? Ah,
5, you just 5, you fucking.
TK's gonna raise his hand. With all fingers extended and says 5. And then he's just going, and then his
Damn,
palm's
I
going to
was
glow
second.
with electricity.
Gonna remain
And
standing.
then he's going to slap the shit out of Balthazar. He's gonna try to slap him so hard that he's gonna try to knock him out of his throne.
okay.
Just a mean old pimp slap to
Off my
to his
throne.
muzzle.
This is great. This is going on because in the chat, all we've been having is just this nice, pleasant conversation of let's go get our mail and stuff and go touch the clothes. And here's
Meanwhile-
TK fighting for his throne.
I mean, Balthazar has reason to believe that he is worthy of the throne. The first and foremost being that he seems to be insane.
Yeah, I kind of got that.
And-
He's literally just gnawing on human skulls here.
And the second being that he is he seems to be like a half, or not half fiend, but a fiendish werewolf, barbarian of some sort, and he's quite ferocious as far as werewolf standards go. But in actuality, he's like equivalent to about level like 7, and he puts up a good fight, sort of. You're surprised. You're surprised by the ferocity, but it's the ferocity of an angry dog. You're trying to take the bone away from. He doesn't seem to understand the gravity of the situation he's gotten himself into, until you tear one of his arms off,
Okay.
and then
Beat him with it. Beat him with it.
Holy shit!
he kind of.
She did say make a
And,
show of it.
TK takes the arm. He's just once again going to shout out, 5 days! And he's going to slap him with his hand, the arm, and then he's going to throw the arm to the side, his blood splattering across the floor. He just tosses the arm to, I was going to say like a group of the dissenters over there.
Yep. You slap him around, and he lands on his back with his head dangling off the edge of the observatory. And he
Was
says,
this your plan? Was this your plan, sir? Just
Did you
wait
have
till
a
I was
plan?
gone and take it from me while I was out saving everything!
Everything!
Everything that I worked so hard to build here. You thought you could just take that away from me while I was out? You're not just mad, you are a fool!
See, he wouldn't even be in such a bad situation if he just challenged TK.
Yeah,
If he just challenged him, it wouldn't have come to this.
exactly. It was like, that's the bit that's like aggravating TK the most, is that he just waited till he was gone to take over. If you could always just challenge me upright, and then we could have had this fight weeks ago.
You would have still had your arm.
Instead of having all of this political discourse in my kingdom, disrupting the flow of progress that I've worked so hard to keep up till now.
but everyone said you weren't a natural werewolf. They said you were afflicted. You ate the Pack Lord's heart when you were a human. They said that... They said that...
No, I'm not a natural werewolf. And you're the devilish one.
Yeah.
So tell me, why is it your arm that's sitting over there instead of mine?
I don't...
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. You cavort with humans. You try to make us friends with humans. How are you so strong?
Because you a bitch.
His friends.
Because I learned something from those friends. My friendship with the other people gives me strength. It gives me insight into know how outside of this world, whereas you know only the weaklings you surround yourself with. You can cast a disapproving glare at the dissenters.
Can we pause for a moment?
And the
Sure.
and the
TK beat
low-born
this
devil
guy in
scum
human
you were.
forms?
What?
TK beat this guy in human.
Yes.
So, is it even more embarrassing for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Wasn't even hulking out.
He's absolutely dumbfounded that a human beat him to death with his fists.
I even just walked and grabbed his arm.
Literally tearing him apart.
No claws, just martial arts.
Martial arts and anger.
This is why Nick's bought all the silver chains.
That is one of the reasons I'm stronger.
I don't get it.
Also, he did plenty of push-ups.
Because it's not in your
Sit-ups.
nature to get it.
Just
is
tell
all
him the
you've
truth,
ever
TK.
known.
You're just better than him.
He's trying to teach him a lesson.
What I'm trying to teach him is that the changes I bring are not natural. They may not make sense to you now, but they come from a stronger leader. And if you do not recognize anything else, recognize that.
Oh.
My leadership comes from a position of strength. Do
Uh.
not ever forget it.
I just wanted to be the Pack Lord.
Oh,
Now you're the pack bitch.
Oh.
TK's going to just knock him out, and then he's going to tell someone to just like take him to like the dungeon or something like that. Or actually, well,
might want to.
I'll wait until he wakes up to see what he has to say. If I like what he has to say, I'll spare his life.
fire.
Otherwise, I probably need to make a show of example of this guy and finish tearing the limbs from him.
Oh, wake up. He's a werewolf. They're pretty tough.
I just wanted to be the Pack Lord.
I just wanted to be a cool guy for one day.
Okay, but listen, Effie waste, okay? Because he got his arm torn off. He could easily end up bleeding out. especially-
Somebody just
This is
set the
Pathfinder
stump on
verse. He'll be
fire.
fine.
Yeah, he's a werewolf. He'll recover.
Yeah, he regenerated. Not his whole arm, but he'll.
What I want to
Mr.
make
Generator
very
was
clear
bleeding
here
out, okay.
is that because if I kill him, I'm worried I'll might like make him a martyr for his dissenters. But by just humiliating him like this and making a show of it, I'm hoping that everyone else will just kind of get the picture and not try to steal my throne the next time I turn around and walk out of here to save the world, which is happening right now. Secretary, you take care of things. Everyone, continue business as usual. I have a teleporter to catch.
Alright. It's a process, you know.
Tell her how much you appreciate her.
I appreciate your help. Hopefully I won't be gone for much longer.
Yes, it's, difficult to... I mean, I'm not going to say the thing about old dogs and new tricks, but you understand. The pack has been a certain way for a long time, leading by example, leading by strength, more than anything else.
They need to follow TK's example of saving the world.
Yes.
I'll see if... And yes, with leadership gone, there's a power vacuum that just exists, and it feels strange to not have a pack lord there at all times. It's kind of the problem with our society. But
I should make my next way a very brief one.
and yes, it's a matter of there's no pack lord, then dumbasses like him can end up taking over as long as they have enough support, and if they're strong enough to, you know, tear someone's throat out and make a big show of themselves.
Question: does she know? Has she heard? Did the rumor come out about this one necromancer with a bag of holding and like 50 skeletons in it, and how it made a computer? Is that what the werewolves need? Do they need a computer?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I know I lost the throne last time in 5 days, but you think you can give me a week?
Weak.
That's 7 days. Come on, you can
That's
hold it
7
out for 2 more days.
Or do you think I should go in there and tear off a couple more arms?
Let's powwow for a moment.
Okay.
Okay. So I've told you, needing my strength, big deal. I wonder if some sort of symbol would keep everyone in line a bit better.
Create an effigy of bodies.
Yeah.
You could kill Balthazar and set up a pile of his bones in front of the throne. That would probably buy us a week or so. I could have
Only buys a
Need
week.
more time. There's a meeting.
I've been speaking with the I've been speaking with the Esoteric Order. What about a statue?
Go on.
Giant
I
fist.
know where this is going.
A statue of
Of
me?
Of you. Yes. Yes, so that way, when someone else rips and tears his way up to the top of the tower, they'll see you. And there can be a big warning on it, saying,
Remember Balthazar.
remember Balthazar, prepare,
Remember the Alamo.
prepare to meet my fists, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Make it out of solid gold.
Most of us
First-
can read, so that should be helpful.
Yes. I like it.
Yeah.
A statue. First you had my attention, but now you have my erection.
Somewhere distance, Nim goes, "Damn it!"
I could.
I like it. Let's get someone on that statue.
Okay.
We'll put it out in front of the observatory.
Is it like this?
Witness me.
Oh gosh.
Or is it like
Oh,
I thought Tumblr post.
It's the thinker.
The
I'm
statue
sorry,
of David.
I'm double checking things and.
I imagine it would be more like the first one, just to. Actually, no. And we should try it. Since I came back and took the throne and not my werewolf form. I think the human image is a better go-to
Remind them that you can kick all their asses.
as a man?
when it's not a full moon. Yes.
Mhm.
And even then, I hope this will appeal to what's left of their humanity. Maybe think about giving humans or other humanoids a second chance, if just because someone who is just as strong as they are is leading them.
Mm.
And on the chest, we'll just write 1 week.
She's taking notes. she's taking
7 days.
taking notes on her notepad.
You're like, no. Actually, on this chest, we'll just engrave the words "soon." I'm coming back. I'm coming back real soon.
I love it, sir. I'll get to that right away. I'm going to talk to the Order tomorrow and see if we can get that done.
Sounds good. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Yes, please enjoy the rest of your saving the world.
Yes, I believe the full moon is coming out, and I need to rekindle
I need to howl at the moon because
With you-
last time I was trapped.
with the beasts of the wolf,
Ooh.
with the beasts of the wood.
Can I join you? There's a lovely bison out there that I'd love to chow
Oh, yes,
down
Mel.
on.
Oh yes, by all means.
All right.
They're gonna go eaten.
So yeah, you.
A hunt worth remembering.
So
It's a celebration.
yeah, you're already turning.
It's a celebration.
Party. I want to have a party.
Yeah.
Need to have a party. I've got a party.
Next
I
thing.
can't find it again.
Huh?
I know I should have had it bookmarked, but I
Find
remember
what?
you telling me at one point that not Alexa's dad, but her father-in-law was having to be in charge of the Hell Knights or something like that.
No, it's a. Or wait, no. Oh no. He's. I think he's in cahoots with the Hell Knights because the Hell Knights are from Cheliax.
Yeah, and that's gonna be another thing Alexa's gonna have to deal with.
Yeah.
Fucking demon wolves.
I'm already making this TK stuff up off the top of my head, so I don't.
It's going really well.
I don't want to get into Alexis politics right now.
For something we did
okay.
not plan at all.
It's okay. We can always do that in a different session.
Yeah.
Really. It's just. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think up things that, I should have already bookmarked and known by heart by now, but no. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So for. Let's see here. For whoever is in A3, there's a table there, and as
I'm
you're
not there, but I'm looking at that table.
yeah. Oh yeah, I guess yeah. You're dig. Oh no, your secret layer is in A5. That's right.
No, A4.
Oh A4. Oh
Yeah, I
okay.
chose the smaller room.
Okay.
More discreet. I'm
Uh,
looking at that table in A3. What's it doing? Does it
well,
wanna
you know what?
fight?
Let's say that Lyle finds it just so that Nagi is doing something.
Besides coloring, okay.
Yeah.
So A3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're just
Okay.
wandering by, you notice a lovely book sitting on a table, prominently displayed. Got a lacquered.
This table.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
This table.
It's got a lacquered wood cover embossed with silver. The pages edged in gold. You speak Elven, I'm pretty sure, considering your career.
Yeah, he definitely knows and understands Elven way too well.
The title of the book reads Emerald Dreams, and your knowledge of the elves tells you that it's a popular. Essentially, it's a book of fairy tales from a very, very long time ago. It's an extremely popular book. And there is a bookmark in it. The bookmark is a violet flower. You recognize it to be a very similar type of flower to what the queen has on her crown.
Oh.
Okay, hang on a second. Before I even dare to touch that thing, I'm gonna take the cautious fruit. Detect magic.
You detect no magic, but good instincts.
Yes, good instincts.
Okay. Lyle carefully picks up the book. Carefully, very carefully. In case it turns to ash in his hands.
Yes.
It's heavy. It's a good construction.
Oh, he does not find anything suspicious.
What was that? Was that a spell?
that was my perception.
Just a book. Nothing bad's ever come out of a book.
Oh, now you made me want to do freaking spellcraft. Thanks.
Nothing bad has ever come from reading a book.
He's just looking at the book, and it's just like, it's a book, all right. It's not a very interesting one either. I'll leave it for later.
I did a spellcraft check, just in case there's anything.
The book does not appear to be a spell or a magic item.
It's not gonna blow you up.
So he takes a small breath, kind of walks over here, sits down,
Mm-hmm.
and carefully, cautiously opens the book.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna open the pits to the underworld?
If anything starts to happen, he will shut it immediately.
You open the book with no consequences.
All right.
Except the pits of hell opening downtown.
At the bookmark, by the way.
Okay. There's a short tale on that page, the page that was marked by the bookmark, called The Quasit's Promise. You recognize, or actually you may not. Do you have knowledge of the planes?
Nix has knowledge of the planes.
Actually, I do.
What's your score?
Nix isn't there.
Wow, stop being selfish.
We're actually not
Let me-
there. Remember, we
Let
left.
me lend
Oh,
you.
that's right. Shit.
Lyle is just like, hey, Nix.
Suddenly,
Sure. Suddenly Nix teleports.
He poofs.
No, we just came home from our walk and getting our mail if there was any
and
mail for
Lyle's
us.
like, hey,
What's
Nix. Can you come over here real quick? Need your help.
Sure. What do you need?
I'm gonna roll knowledge the planes roll to assist me,
Wait.
or I can
Hey.
roll to assist you.
I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
Oh,
Okay.
dear.
There's 29.
31.
All right. You're both aware that a Quasit is a low-ranking demon. Mischievous, problem-causing type.
Gosh, sorry if you hear that in the background.
The story recounts of an elven princess named Ilaraviana, who is captured by a Merilith, which is a much more powerful demon, and placed in a prison infested with quasits. And the princess escapes by forming an alliance with one of the quasits, who was a foul-mouthed demon named Okargund. And even though the quasit breaks his promise to the princess at the end and betrays her, she trusted that the quasit would act according to its nature and betray her, which allowed her to engineer her escape nevertheless. She emerges from the prison wounded but alive. The obvious moral of the story is that sometimes you can trust your enemies to act according to their nature, and if the wise person accounts for that, an alliance with an enemy can still function. In other words, as in the immortal words of Captain Jack Sparrow, you can always trust an untrustworthy person to be untrustworthy.
That's
You
a
know,
nice story. I don't know what
this-
that has to do with anything.
I don't know. I kind of feel like this is just me. These are the writers of the book, like the actual writers of this Pathfinder story, being very explicit on what you should do.
So,
Nix doesn't like children's stories.
I'll mulls it over for a second before closing the book. So, making an alliance with an untrustworthy enemy.
We already did that. We did that the entire time we were in Zernicana.
Nix, I'm thinking. So, what would it account to, Uni?
Thinking about what? We stopped the meteor.
When you
That's it.
well, as you're thinking about it, you don't really. There's no one here that you really explicitly distrust, or that you would even be able to trust to act according to their nature. The elves are all, as far as you know, pretty uniform in their beliefs. None of them are.
Nix does give
ex-
loudest look for basically telling him to shut up. Nix would in him in his sleep. It's hysteria.
It's
I kill you, man.
it's possible that this is more of a warning for future events.
Oh. What if this is warning us? Is what he says to Nix, as Nix is probably walking away.
He's like, Sylvie!
Whatever. So that's pretty much all that happens on that day. TK will return the next morning.
There was
TK,
actually one last thing I want to do before I go back.
Okay.
I guess like after the night is over, and we finished killing that whatever the secretary wanted.
The bison.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Can't believe there's bison in the middle of the woods.
There's
Anyways,
dinosaurs, man.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Fucking Pathfinder,
After we
man.
finished tearing into the jugular of that owlbear, the next morning, we TK is going to have the secretary call a gathering for the pack, and then TK is just gonna be like, "Okay, I'm leaving again for a much shorter period than last time, for sure. You can count on that. But before I go, I understand that my leadership here has always wavered on the level of my strength. I know that there are some policies and changes I've been pushing this pack to make that disagree with the old ways some of you believe. Just want you to know that in the traditional sense, according to that traditional sense, the strongest among us still leads. And that's still me. So if either anybody, any wolf in this pack wants to be king, you have to kill me. You can't just take it like a coward while I'm away. So, if any among you wants the throne, any among you has any inkling that you feel like you are the strongest, you are the best, you know what's right for the pack, I challenge you now. Step up and kill me. Does anybody step up?
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
TK kills them.
Yep. That is what happens.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them are like, yep,
DK rips out their spine.
still the strongest one. They seem in agreement once you've finished murdering the three that stepped up.
I finished. I would go ahead and take off the head of the next usurper before waiting, you know. So, no, that's been taken over. You guys have a nice time. Listen to the secretary. She's in charge. Do what she says.
Don't stay up past 10.
She's
I'll
mommed
know.
out.
And then TK is just going to very spookily step back into the woods until he fades from view.
All right.
Then he's gonna find that teleporter and pop back here
Yep.
in his bedroom.
Coming back and he's just covered in blood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're covered in blood and viscera. Lord
What time
Villastir.
is this that he comes back?
Probably the next morning.
Yeah, morning.
What time the next morning? Like really early, like 5 o'clock in the morning when everybody is still pretty much asleep.
You
Well, I don't know.
Whenever you wake up after werewolfing for a day. I always assumed that werewolfing was kind of like getting super wasted and you might end up like sleeping in.
Yeah, probably.
No, so he's like, he comes
He
back.
just woke up sometime around noonish, like just collapsed on the half-eaten like body of a bison.
Yep. So yeah,
Great.
Lord.
Just
That makes it
naked.
off.
Just naked in the woods.
Nick's already spent his hours for the day getting the word out that a celebrity's in town. Him. And Asteria, I guess.
Villa-
And it's coming in to put away folded clean clothes, and the fucking there's just TK covered in blood, and it's like, holy shit.
Villastir excuses himself to the washroom to wash his hand because he had to touch. The,
It's such bloody ass TK.
yeah,
Yep.
there's bits. There's like hair and skin and stuff. Like apparently
There
TK
was
ate something.
Still some
Yeah.
dead
There's like a
carcass
very
attached to that hand.
there's like a very feral yellow colored eyeball still in his hair. He's still like brush out.
And Vlad's just gonna look him up and down. You look like you had fun.
I wouldn't call it fun. I would call it restoring order.
Him climbs
Take a
on
shower.
TK,
Don't
pulls out
climb
the
on
eyeball. No, she
Gross.
pulls out the eyeball out of his hair. She's like, oh.
knees. Nim,
Get you into the
step
bag.
back. Prestidigitation.
as all the blood just wipes off TK and collects in a puddle around his feet. Just steps away like ugh.
The blood, yes.
Away.
We're gonna get a
The
mob.
viscera, that's a little extra
Yeah,
work.
the viscera is gonna take some doing.
You need a mop.
Yeah.
Yes.
A
Don't
couple
worry,
of
wait.
mops.
Don't worry. Nix banishes it to the shadow.
Ow.
You don't know, Nix can open portals. He can create a demi plane whenever he wants.
Like, no, it was fun. I revisited my kingdom. I was usurped as I had feared, but I restored order, and now they should be good as long as I return relatively soon.
So,
Oh yeah,
Great.
Rebel politics are kind of aggressive, aren't they?
Soon. I'll be back.
He said
Is,
soon, very strangely.
is Nyx using a
sound very
demiplane as a
excited.
garbage dump?
He uses a demi-plane as a garbage.
Hey, Demi. Repeat our question. TK, you said soon. How soon are you thinking?
I mean,
Oh, we?
the queen said it would only take us about a week to finish, so I figured we would be finished here in about that time.
We're going to stop
no
a
worries.
meteor from destroying the planet.
And as long as we get it done in a week's time, no worries.
Does that sound like a week's journey to you?
Oh, for sure.
And if we
At least.
I mean,
don't,
if anything, the teleporter guy can always like go back and deliver like a word to the secretary that I'll be delayed a bit longer, but that's okay.
I don't think he'll just go deliver word to a pack of werewolves.
He can send me. I'll deliver word.
Yeah, you can send
They
next.
can read. They can read. They know what a letter is.
It's true, they can
No,
read.
I'm just
They
saying
can
what
read the
he's.
word soon scrawled into my chest inside the observatory. Where I
What?
dealt with the last person who decided to take the throne while I was away.
What do you mean soon scrawled into your chest, TK? What did you do?
I
Did
may have
something
had a
happen?
statue built in my image to commemorate
So tacky.
my
Holy shit!
my re-indoctrination into the kingship of my kingdom.
You're so tacky.
TK should get a huge tattoo on his chest that just says "now."
So-
In multiple languages, so all of the werewolves with all the backgrounds can read it.
Are you guys? Do you guys have money? Do you want to do shopping while you're in Iadara?
I don't think you gave us money.
I have a
We didn't get any money.
Yeah, I have 8 pieces of gold to my name, so no,
Oh.
I would
They
not.
didn't pay us.
Well, they have.
the drow just allowed us to live.
Well, you,
Yeah.
I mean, you looted all those bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Oh,
we
we've
yeah.
sold shit.
gone over the loot.
Mayor, go over the loot.
We haven't gone over the loot because nobody
We-
told us what the loot was.
Oh.
Therefore, it's not on the list.
I'll let you.
I don't think I've collected loot for TK since
Ever.
Second Darkness began. Yeah, ever. I've never done anything because I knew we would be going into the Drow Kingdom where I can't really buy shit.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
how
I'll.
much money have we earned?
A fair bit, because you took from Orvignado's vault as well. That had some stuff in it that I forgot to tell you about. But I'll let you do shopping retroactively after the session.
Okay.
But
Don't worry about it now.
we can assume that you are doing a bit of shopping right now, I guess.
We do a shopping montage.
Yeah,
Yes.
you do a shopping montage going through the streets of Iadara. It's beautiful. It's sunny. It's lovely
Next, we
outside.
just throw TK into a demi-plane. He does use it as a garbage dump.
No!
Why?
What do you mean, no?
Man, Waxnix, you're not sticking him in the demi-plane!
Why not? It
He
can
is
be-
not trash!
What?
Why are you trying to stick him in your trash plane?
Because it's easier than having a running around or trying to find a place to.
Oh, we're talking about the full moon.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. It was me, the player, dipping out and not paying attention. It's a thing I pointed out in chat.
It's okay. Is TK done with full moons, or is like
Is there one more
even now, like later on tonight, going to be a full?
No, he's done for now.
I think the full
Oh,
moon
okay.
only really lasts like 2 nights.
Yeah, I'm
so-
assuming that it lasts for 2 nights.
Now it looks mostly full, but it's slightly less.
It's
than
not.
full, so
He wants to compulsively howl at it, but you know, he's not gonna turn.
yes,
Oh,
that's right.
1/20th of it is missing.
It's just enough for me to keep the beast at bay.
oh, it's you.
Here's someone saying, "What's the beast at bay?"
Did I hear an old man elf?
The adventurers.
Son of a bitch!
Oh, hey.
Where?
You see a 700-year-old elf. Spryly,
up.
yeah.
Just stride up with this level 20 adventure epic gear.
No, this is
He hasn't
pre-adventure
gone on an
Wilbur.
adventure yet.
Oh, this is pre-adventure Wilbur. Okay, this is early years Wilbur.
Yes.
Nix is still trying to convince him to go on.
Oh, you don't have to convince him. You already.
Somewhere, sometime, Karasu just feels rage. So much rage.
You already inspired him. It's too late. And he says, "Oh, great! Welcome back to Iadara. It's a lovely day today, isn't it?"
It
Yeah.
certainly is.
Yeah.
I prefer the night.
How was your practice in the arcane arts?
Oh, I'm getting quite a bit better, actually.
Haven't burned down any huts, have you?
Not recently.
Well, that's a relief at
If
least.
you'd like to, I can show you a demonstration of my magic, but only if you allow me to take you in for some dinner. My treat.
Sure, demonstrate.
Only if you provide meat. All the elves in these huts provide is vegetables.
Oh,
I didn't claw my way to the top of the food chain to eat vegetables.
I know a place. Don't you worry. Here.
Okay, good.
And he takes you to what just basically looks like a hunter's lodge.
This is my meat shack.
But he,
No
Is
one
that
can
a
have
euphemism for something?
I'm not sure anyone here wants to visit Wilbur's meat shack.
Yeah, Nim's not interested in Wilbur's Moon Jack.
but he walks you in, and there are some fresh game being hung up.
Great, Nick sticks his face in it.
What is it?
Can Vlad just lay down like right under the hanging stuff and just let the blood drip into his mouth?
God, we have the most morbid party.
Wilbur kind of says, "Hey, come on, you youngsters.
Aw.
Plenty of
I
there'll
can
be
only
plenty of
imagine
time for
Vlad
that."
is like, A+.
Nick's opened his mouth to take a bite, and then he just got told no. Gosh darn it.
There's a little spot here. And he walks up to one of the people and he says, "Here,
You scurvy shyster.
I'll take a couple of those and that one. And can we borrow the bench outside?" Okay, good. And he hands out some money to the guy, and they take down they take down a couple of, or no, they take down an elk and a couple of rabbits and some fowl, and
Okay, not squirrel.
no. And they say, "Oh, do you want it? You want us to light up the barbecue?" He says,
No.
"No, I'll do it. Don't worry about it." And
Yes. Show
Can
us
we
what
get
you
a-
got, old man.
Can we get a second elk?
elk are pretty big animals. There's a lot of
Yes,
meat on
Wilbur
those guys.
casts Cone of flame on the
We
animals.
have some pretty hungry boys that would like another elk.
All right, but only if you eat the whole thing.
Oh, they'll eat the whole thing on their own, I assure you. They actually might start fighting over it because it might not be enough.
All right, make it another elk, and they oblige, and you take all of it outside. There's a nice sort of
Dinner and a show.
kind of beautiful like carved table with many chairs, big feast table kind of long thing, and there's just a big old fire pit with a bunch of spits and I don't know if grills are really a thing. I'll say it's mostly spits, and
Listen, I think they had grills.
nah. Wilbur,
Well, yeah, they
At
had
the very
grills.
least, oven roasting thing. Very.
Listen, I'm thinking on it, and I know that grilling people was a form of torture.
Oh, yeah.
So, grills existed.
all right, it's a grill. And he says, "Oh, would you mind Just take the choice cuts, whatever you want, and I'll get the fire started here.
He says, "Get the choice cuts, whatever you want." Meanwhile, TK, Vlad, Nyx, they're already on their elk.
Nyx eats exactly like. You take your eyes off him for a second, and there's a Nyx-sized hole in the elk.
Oh my gosh.
And Wilbur loads in some sticks, and
His entire dimension is a mouth.
branches, and leaves. And then he steps back and he says, "Okay, take a look at this now." And he pulls out a kind of ratty, slightly burnt small book, and he starts flipping through it, and he says, "Okay, oh yes, there we go." And he does a couple of motions, and make a spellcraft check.
Oh, okay.
You think I know?
You do.
I was about to say, you probably don't.
You easily identify the spell as a scorching ray. A single
Nice.
scorching ray.
Oh shit.
And he lights it up, and he says, "Wonderful. How was that, huh?"
Not bad.
I'm really impressed, actually. That was like, what, a level 2 spell? Holy shit.
I think so.
That was very controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And Vlad
You
just
seem
kind
to
of
be
looks, and then he's
doing
like,
well.
"It's okay, I guess."
I was.
Have you ever?
Nyx
be
throws.
doing well.
Nyx rips the leg off this elk and feeds.
Oh my
I
god.
just saw this like cool spell while we were on a trip, Wilbur. Have you ever thought about like learning how to like magically put people in pits?
Sorry. TK golf claps, which is
Alexis
just like,
looks over at Nim and tilts her head like, that's hardly specific.
Well, no. Remember we kind of saw that we saw the
Yeah, everyone
people.
can cast. Everyone can cast a scorching, right?
Yeah,
everyone.
but there's like the magical holes, and then they come back up after they wear off. It's just like temporary. It's really cool.
That sounds like a fine and perfectly legitimate form of battlefield control.
Yeah, like it's sometimes the pit's like somehow magically spiky or filled with acid.
I'll have to look into it.
Oh, I can make pits.
I just like so far I just like pointing at things and making things happen. I always knew that I was a natural. It's too bad I couldn't get into wizarding earlier in my life.
Yeah.
You seem to be doing well for your advanced stage.
You can still do
Hey.
it if you really want.
You're so old that it probably helps you.
That is true. I mean, he probably has advanced wisdom on his side.
Yeah, I feel.
Oh! Actually, do you have like some like rocks or something? Actually, what did Wilbur use to trap Karasu?
Oh God!
Wall of stone.
It was wall of
Oh,
stone.
okay. Hey, Wilbur! I'm gonna show you a cool spell I know now.
Nim,
So like,
no!
do this with, and because she now has the spell. Actually, she just got it. She like makes a little stone box with wall of stone.
You could fit a fox in there.
She gives it to Wilbur. I don't know if it stays permanently or not. I don't know if it does.
It does.
I don't
It's instantaneous, yeah. So it does. And she's like, here, yeah, like
not permanent.
you should like practice. Maybe you can learn to like do stuff like this.
Imagine if you could fit a fox in that box. Wouldn't that be like the cutest thing you've ever seen?
But make sure you put holes in it and everything so the fox can breathe. You don't want to like suffocate it. Like, make little traps and stuff.
You are.
Or you can make like a cool like box to put stuff in. Like things you collect.
You are powerful adventurers.
Huh. Your book seems kind of tattered.
Oh yes, it's a hand-me-down from some of the wizards at the palace.
May I see it?
Sure. He hands it over.
Wow, burns it.
Lyle takes a look at it, flips through it. Would you mind if I borrowed this just for the night. I'll return it to you tomorrow.
If you want, be careful with it. It's my only spell book right now.
Oh, don't worry, I will.
Vlad says, "Listen, old dude. I'll write down some spells for you, and how about you practice with these, until you get your spell book back."
I appreciate it.
You learn a whole new spell, prestidigitation. That's a useful one.
I'll add 2 in as well.
Yeah, we can all add some spells.
Yeah,
We all just put down spells for Wilbur.
Next,
Yeah.
adds all the pit spells that you know.
it's putting Wall of Stone in there.
Could you sign it too? That would really make my day.
Sure.
TK
he's
scrolls in TK on the bed.
And the K is backwards.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, he can learn a couple of spells. He's gonna like put down like protection
plays-
from evil in there and
If anyone ever
levitate.
calls him on there, he plays it off like, no, that's just the way the cool kids.
Listen,
Sign
it's stylization, okay?
Illiteracy is hip.
Oh my god.
I understand.
Somewhere in the future, Tara says, "Hey, Car."
And time-traveling Karasu, who hops through time all the time, knows exactly which people, or specifically which person, he needs to kick ass. In your small old ass, he's coming for it.
Yeah, just remember at one point she reincarnates and comes back as a very tall elf woman.
It's true. Ideally, he's going for her, not
She's old.
reincarnate.
One day she's just gonna get kicked in the butt. How did you?
And Nyx is gonna just fucking choke slam fucking Karasu for her because TK won't be around to do it.
You know what's sad? There's not a whole lot
TK
of,
will nod in the afterlife.
There's not a whole lot of spells that clerics have that, wizards can now also have.
Yeah, there's some. He'd have like protection from evil. Not sanctuary. That's Inquisitor.
Dispel
I can't remember.
magic.
Dispel magic. Yeah, give him dispel magic.
Yeah, dispel magic and dispel magic greater.
So as
The
your
most important spell that Vlad is going to write down here is clearly glitter dust.
pretty sure Wilbur has glitter dust, yeah.
No, just refine it so it's even more fabulous.
Yes.
Exactly.
Write glitter dust in your own hand.
Like, listen, I saw your notes on glitter dust in this book you have here, and I thought it could.
No, I mean
Yeah.
like actual Wilbur's character sheet probably has glitter dust on it somewhere.
Oh yeah. There
It
you go.
needed to be written in glitter.
Exactly. Vlad is the inventor of the glitter pen. Let's just say that.
Actually, Nam starts writing down some of her summon monsters that she hasn't used yet. Remember that anyway, 'cause she's had better stuff to cast.
So as you're ruining Karasu's future,
We literally taught him the pit and
She's
the
actually
fucking.
helping people.
This is making up for the fact that we made Lealda.
Wilbur is preparing the meat quite skillfully, actually. Like he seems to be.
He had to have had a job before wizarding.
No, Nim's gonna help him, and she's gonna like provide her seasoning that she's brought with her all the way from Katabash. It's like really spicy.
Yeah, he tries
Oh,
it.
boy.
He tries and he's like, oh yeah, that'll be good on here. Yes.
This
Yeah.
one's got some kick to it.
Yeah, he can taste it, even though he's really old.
And
That's
usually
because when
all
you get-
old people.
When you get old, your taste buds start. So you
Yeah,
need
going.
something really strong to kickstart them.
He actually.
And that's why they put
Alcohol.
salt in everything, because it's the only thing they can taste.
He actually says, it's kind of pesky, isn't it?
Got it, Pesci.
I brought it with me because I
Wow,
was living
you,
out there for like the last
Yeah.
decade.
How did you know
your
that?
spices.
Yeah, I mean, you really know your spices, Wilbur. Do you spice?
Oh no, I just I traveled during my time.
Oh yeah, he's 700.
Wait, you went to Katabash?
Yes, I was part of a group. We'll talk about it when we're eating. How about?
Okay.
And yeah, once the meat is finished cooking, he takes them down. He asks for some strong backs to bring like the elks over to the table, and
Vlad.
They bring
Okay.
TK, Nix, and Vlad bring like the remains.
Nix has no strength.
Bears.
Nyx does not have strength, but he has mule embedded into his cloak of resistance.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let's make him really strong. Or, well, not strong, but he can carry a lot.
and he says, "Great, enjoy it, enjoy. Take whatever cuts you want." And he takes a big slab of it for himself. He says, "Oh, I'm glad I have all my teeth still.
Yeah,
You have
being
to-
an elf must be great.
You have to take care of your teeth, you know. Especially you." He points at Nyx.
Nyx is
Oh, yeah,
what do you
we-
mean, especially me.
We brush our teeth twice a day and floss and everything because, you know, the ocean goblin will come for your bones.
Exactly.
Well, they need
Nyx
a,
Nim looks at Nix.
Nyx opens his mouth and he says, "Man, I have a lot of teeth."
yeah,
It's like
And Vlad
340?
Vlad pats him on the head, and it's like, that's because you made sure the ocean goblin didn't get to them.
Yeah, you did really good. We raised you really well.
you need a pickaxe to get the teeth out of, get a cavity out of those teeth.
Please don't remind me.
So what was I?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did. No, never mind.
What was I talking
That
about
didn't happen.
before?
Oh, you used to
The ocean
travel with the
goblin?
group? Oh, yeah, and the ocean goblin.
I've never heard of an ocean goblin.
Well, you used to travel with the group.
Yes, I did. I don't know if you've heard of them before. The Shin Rakarath.
No, I have not heard of them before. The what?
The what?
What?
How have you not heard of them?
I've not heard of the Shin. What?
You actually, I don't blame you for not remembering, but the guy who was with the mayor of Crying Leaf and the force of elven rangers that he had.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, that's the Shin Rakarath.
I don't
Those were
know.
like special forces, elf special forces.
Oh,
And on that note, I believe I'm. Would I be correct in saying that you're here serving the queen because of a certain something that rhymes with prow?
Nim's gonna start sensing motive on this motherfucker.
How does he know?
Just
You couldn't have
let me
sensed motive
know.
on Wilbur.
Let me know if I need to do my best or bluff.
I mean, I'm not sure what
He,
you're supposed to glean from this. I mean, he seems to be genuinely interested
Yeah.
in
Trying to
knowing.
figure out if there's something behind that genuine interest. He's asking for a fishy reason.
there is something kind of.
Actually, is he? I hate to say this. Is he enchanted or possessed?
No.
Because I get a bonus on that. Okay, no.
He seems kind of. There's something like deep in his eyes that seems kind of sad.
Oh, he's being an old man.
The answer is yes.
And it does seem that he's pretty aware of what the Drow are, unlike a lot of
That's
the.
why he said crow.
I mean, he is 700 years old.
So he knows what drow are. There's no reason to say it's not drow. Unless he made a very educated guess.
In that case, yeah, it's Drow.
Hmm.
I just
No,
say it all weird.
no,
like
don't say that word. You just say yeah, because there might be other elves around.
Careful!
that-
Don't talk about. You
Don't
don't.
talk about crow.
You don't want
Don't
to.
talk about crows.
You don't want to throw that word around in Eodora too
I
too
mean,
frequently.
yes. The
The answer is
crows,
yes.
I meant. And yeah, we actually were living with the crows for weeks and we just came back to deliver the news to the Queen
Mm-hmm.
on our adventures with the crows.
Mm.
Smooth, TK.
So yes, I used to be part of the Shinrakarath, who, well, never a high-ranking member. I used to, I was never quite wonderful with a bow or with a sword.
Were you the one who got them coffee?
Well, no, I was a scout. I would, ride on a horse and climb trees. I had weapons. I just was never the best at them.
You brought them coffee.
Is he lying?
No, he's
Was
not.
he really?
Okay.
He was there. He did work.
He actually put in the
Mostly getting them coffee.
Which kind of
He
brings
was
me.
like one of those guys that were just in the back firing.
Yeah, he's like a
Retriever.
background soldier.
Which brings me back to my my talk about magic. Why I was I knew that I had some capacity, some talent during elementary courses on magic. I learned that I was reasonably good at it, but they wouldn't allow me to use it in my youth because of my heritage, you see.
Heritage? What's up with your heritage?
Well, you wouldn't know it by looking at me, but, well, the reason I know about, the drow...
Crows. The crows. You fool.
He's
calling them
he's
crows
speaking
now,
quietly.
it's fast.
Is that, my, grandmother was one.
Oh, snap.
Mm.
You're right, I never would have guessed. You super white.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say that about people, Vlad.
And this is where Vlad proves that he's an old man.
Next
That he's
little
old.
flips Vlad.
It doesn't really, manifest, on the body, unless you know what you're looking for, of course. There's small physical differences, but, unless you're an
And
expert,
Vlad's
you'll
like,
find
whoa,
it.
whoa, TMI, no one asked.
Nick stares intensely at ears.
Mm.
Is that the difference?
No.
Oh,
Damn
it.
The big one was, of course, that I was always able to see perfectly in the dark. And that's not a thing that elves are able to do. Not in pitch blackness, at the very least.
The auto can't see in the dark.
And,
The irony.
Purest irony.
I was told, well, you have two choices. You can join the Shinrakarath, or we will not allow you to live anymore. So I had to follow their rules. The rules of the Winter Council.
I see.
And now that I've retired, they've said that, you can live your life peacefully, now that you're out, and now that you're at an age that they believe I'm no longer dangerous.
And Vlad's just like, you burned down a hut.
I suppose
It was just a hut.
politically dangerous would be the correct term. Because I don't care anymore. I have to say, elven politics, I think I'd prefer to move on to somewhere else if I were to go adventuring.
Yeah, the politics in Elftown seem very loose.
Yeah, they're crafted to seem that way, I'm afraid. Don't let anyone know that I said this, because the Winter Council is... they're good at keeping themselves secret. And you guys can actually make knowledge nobility check.
Yeah, what is this Winter Council thing?
So, Jenny,
I have exactly
I
knowledge and
need you.
ability 0.
Fuck's sake!
I mean, how often does knowledge and ability ever come up, really?
so Jenny.
The only character I
Alex
have to
still
add.
has a plus 20 in it.
What the hell is this shit?
Because Alexis is noble, so it makes sense that she would know,
Yeah.
actually.
She married in. She needs to understand.
Oh, look at that.
Glad.
Alexis is having to make a total guess, and Vlad's like,
Dude,
Vlad on his best game is like Alexis at her worst.
Exactly.
Yes. Listen, he may have been of noble descent, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, these
Jenny! Get out here!
Holy
Jenny
shit.
knows.
Oh,
Use your fucking bardic knowledge.
Jenny's a fucking nerd, remember?
Zugeni is actually the only one who has heard of the Winter Council before.
No,
Wait.
it turns out Alexis has too.
Alexis
Alexis has a bit of luck.
just hit the DC.
Jesus Christ!
That's how secret they are. They're 35
Jenny,
secret.
that's a word, knows everything without having to resort to Desna.
I did mention that Alexis has 2 domains, luck and healing.
You are aware of the idea of a secret society existing in Kionan's government. Some rumors hold that the Winter Council advises the Queen, while others hold that the Winter Council uses the Queen as a puppet, and that its members are the true rulers of Kionan.
Oh, so that's what she was acting like a dumbass.
Let's to avoid those fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And he, and once Zugeni and Alexis give kind of knowing looks, or seem to understand what he's talking about, he nods and he says, "So yes, they're let's call them, what would the word be? Hardline conservatives. They believe that, well, they're the ones who are in charge of the Shin Rakarath. We, or I should say they, were their agents on the field, keeping the Drow down, of course, but also enforcing their views on the people of Kionan secretly. And for someone like me, and you know, I'm not entirely sure of the veracity of this, but I have heard that previous rulers have been forced out of their position of power in Kionan by them, and there's plenty of word about political assassinations and such. Well, considering that I was threatened by such a thing, I can imagine might be true. Now, I'm saying this all in perfect confidence. I'd prefer if he didn't tell anyone, but, I mean, I'm old enough. If I get caught, I don't really care.
Secrecy is my middle name.
What I do care about are, I have a grandson, and a great-great-grandson. Landrell and Soren. They've begun studying magic, and I worry if the Winter Council thinks that they might be a threat as well because of my lineage.
They don't even know.
Well, if they haven't discovered yet, then it's possible. I don't know whether or not they can see in the dark, but they certainly don't look like Drow. You're heroes.
Yes. Puts a hand over Vlad's mouth. Yes.
I just want you to be aware that there are some dangerous elements at work here in Kionan. And if you ever...
What do you mean dangerous? Like...
There are people who are very powerful and don't like the influence of outsiders. You may be targeted while you're here.
Now, when you say outsiders,
Both.
I think he means not elves, which we are.
Exactly.
Okay, I thought you meant specifically outside.
No, not that definition.
And I mean, I've gathered. I'm becoming better as a wizard, as I'm sure, as I've demonstrated. But I'm no match for the Winter Council. But if you ever find the opportunity, I would very much like, on behalf of the safety of my grandchildren, particularly those who are studying magic, if you could find a way to wrest the power from the Winter Council, I would much appreciate it.
Oh, don't worry, I was a lawyer.
As he
One
looks
of
at
the best, too.
this tiefling child who claims to be a lawyer at large.
Oh yeah, he was a lawyer when he was like 8. It was really awesome.
Mhm.
It was really good. The best I've seen, actually. Actually, no, I'm a lawyer, too.
I mean, we got Frankenstein off of the jury, so I mean, this should be like a walk in the park.
That is why I trust you. You're outsiders. You're very good at what you do. And you are known for your heroic and death-defying deeds. If there's anyone who could do it, it would be you. Not that I expect it to happen anytime soon, but if you ever find the opportunity or the time, you would, at the very least, gain the appreciation of an old man. Perhaps I can take you out for some more food.
Well,
You got it, old man.
I mean, if there's more meat, then you can count I'll be there. But I appreciate the respect you've given us.
Nix forgot he was even sitting in this
You know,
oak bones.
yeah. You know, what was it, Wilbur?
Yes,
Yeah.
Wilbur Belka.
Well, you know, I mean, heroes are born every day, and of every age. So, even if we're your heroes tomorrow, who's to say that, you know, your arcane training won't lead you to be the hero of someone else further down the road?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you'll stick someone in a box who really needs to be in a box at the moment.
I'm just saying, if we take care of this Winter Council little Winter Council problem for you, just pay it down the road. Pay it forward.
You would be a load off my mind. And then I can focus more on being a great wizard someday.
Someday.
You've
But,
got loads of time.
Let's stop with all of this heavy talk. Please, enjoy your food.
Keep working on the Searing Light spell. That's good. Yes, thank you for the food.
And yeah, you conclude your meal with much rejoicing on the delicious meat.
And I can't help but think what all this exposition that was just given to us down below in Drowland.
Down below.
Down below in Drowland.
Down under.
Yeah. The other house that wants to make the meteor fall. These bitches, that lady who took power, she just appeared out of nowhere, didn't she? No one knows where she's from, and she's kind of weird.
As far as Alacavnus
Isn't
knows, Alacavnus just said she appeared out of nowhere and she hates her. That's and was
Yeah.
And as far as behaving weird goes, it was mostly to the tune of Death to the Surface.
That is
Yeah.
pretty weird.
I'm gonna take my cat to the cat box, as I think she needs to poop.
Okay.
Cat should be
tell when a
smart enough
cat
to
needs
go
to
on its
poop?
own. It starts pacing.
Mm.
I'm sorry, what?
Shut up.
I think Grace just talking in the background.
Yep. Ray's talking to her kitty.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, exposition over.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I mean, it's not really exposition when it's an
It's more like
NPC that
Fun
doesn't.
in times.
It's not supposed to
with
exist.
Wilbur. Yeah.
And you know, it gives me more.
That makes it expositional.
You know, play around with somewhere down the low. Not exactly for Alexis, but possibly for her descendants.
I'm sorry, somewhere down the load.
Line.
You definitely said somewhere down the load.
I think she got line and road crossed up.
That's also possible.
Okay, so after we finish eating raw, spicy meat with Wilbur,
It was cooked.
It wasn't. I was about to say.
Theirs was raw. They ate their own
for the
raw.
people who prefer it cooked,
Ah,
it was cooked.
I
For
see.
the rest of us, we couldn't wait.
Nick's finish his and then start trying to take his. You're not gonna eat it all, TK.
That's okay. TK just stuffs what meat of his that he didn't want into Nim
What?
in his mouth.
Nim's mouth, he says. Okay.
Because that makes it better.
Feel free to do that.
Open up, Nim. Here comes the train.
Oh my gosh!
Do appreciate that.
You know that picture of the hamster trying to eat the entire carrot?
It's a banana.
Oh, is it a banana? Okay.
It was a banana, yeah. 'Cause
What
I
about
remember seeing that
bananas?
being stacked up next to
Oh,
the
where is it?
kill people.
Found it.
Oh,
Not the
God.
kill one.
I found
There's
the
the
killing
hamster and the banana.
Wait.
Oh, that! Why is the hamster and the banana being brought up?
Because meat into the Nim's mouth.
Oh, God.
But that way.
Uh,
I'm dead.
that poor person who took that picture.
It's just a hamster eating a banana.
And
Hey,
they thought
I
it
don't
was
know
so
what it means.
cute and
Stop.
innocent at the time, probably.
Stop
Yeah.
being dirty. I feel like this is a close approximation of his relationship.
Ah, jeez.
What the fuck?
Gosh, you sound so mad about it.
No, but I never hear Mara curse. So whatever she does, it just brings the greatest joy to my heart. It's too good.
It's great. It's great, but also she's growing up.
Oh my fuck, I just clicked the link. Sorry, I had to look away for a little while. That's basically them.
Only does the second day pass without any other.
Well, yeah, the day passes and like evening comes. You guys get home.
Niall gets home a little later because he was out shopping a little.
Oh yeah.
Just shop the other day.
Yeah.
He's been nothing but going on a shopping spree this week.
Then everyone else has.
You're such a girl.
Lyle hasn't done any shopping, but
Mhm.
did they have a library?
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
He went and
Where
got
is it?
some books
Okay.
and.
I don't see it anywhere.
There's a
Is it
Show me the library.
He goes to his room and he kind of locks himself up in there.
there's no map of the city.
Respectful. He's an introvert. I can respect that.
He's actually not an introvert. This is what he's doing right now.
He
Is
just needs his alone time. That's cool. Everyone does.
Lyle, make a perception check.
Oh golly, my worst.
See if you notice your soul being sucked out into the book you're reading.
Oh my gosh.
Notice that.
Oh golly. Yay! It's not crap.
21. Let it ride.
What?
Best part is you go, what?
What, Bo?
Mhm.
You'll figure it out when you grow up, big.
Alexis may be distracted because, you know, she was having to ask for Nyx's help in delivering her letter.
What was my perception check for?
As you're reading,
Stat.
you see something move behind the building here.
Oh, hey.
Wait, where?
There gets the
Oh, this is this building over here?
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
They look kind of
Yeah, he's
humanoid.
Do you tell anyone?
he kind of puts a bookmark in the book and closes it before getting up. Getting up,
We don't want to lose your page.
unlocking door. He can't lose that page. It's important. He comes up. He instead of, he kind of grabs. He puts a hand on TK's shoulder. Is like, "Come with me."
Just TK.
Kyle?
It's not
TK
very
is
smart.
going eyebrow.
He kind of
Company
gestures to
layout.
Nyx. He gestures to Nyx as well.
Just Nyx. It's not very smart, Lyle.
No, he whichever Nyx is right now. If Nyx is Asteria, he gestures
Whichever
to Asteria. I saw. Something out here.
What is it? To see this person. It's fine.
It's
We
okay.
understand.
I have a kitty on my lap too.
My cat has ditched me.
31. Let it ride.
Hey, CTK.
What do I see?
Who's
With my
snooping in
eyes.
our neighborhood?
Okay.
Do I have to kill them?
Jeez. I'd like everyone outside to make a perception check and get higher than 7.
Okay.
Everyone has to come outside and make.
No, those just
No,
the
just
ones
the ones
outside. So Lyle, Nyx, Asteria, and TK.
Roll something higher than hiding in plain sight.
Vlad really wants to go outside because that's where Nyx is.
Glad you
As
glad you
TK just
go
points
outside.
and says, I see someone, like, someone's rear end sticking out beneath, like, behind a well.
Glad goes outside.
Vlad really wants outside.
It's not like there's a barrier on the.
He's outside. He needs to be close.
He needs to be in the sun.
It's
Close to Nyx.
it's evening. Like the,
Shadow.
the sun has gone past the trees now.
Okay.
Nyx has completely vanished from sight. With
Those of you outside who
at 67 because of invisibility.
those of you
Apparently everyone's coming outside. Lyle calls for Nyx and he else follows.
Why wouldn't they? Secretive about things.
He wasn't being secretive. He just didn't want the squishies to get squished.
Oh,
We're
Vlad
coming
ain't
out.
squishy anymore.
Yep.
Vlad is not
Too bad.
squished.
If Vlad
The
is gone,
squishies are here to bear
if
witness.
Vlad is gone, here comes Alexis and Nam going, what?
those of you who are currently outside who got higher than 7
7.
notice or heard like a loud snapping of a branch, and then
Cool. I race towards
just
it.
a bunch of elves jump out at you.
Oh shit!
And roll initiative. You do not get surprised.
What? Elves! I thought we were friends! What happened?
I didn't jump by elves? What the fuck? I told you these Bergwald motherfuckers should go.
I guess we were too cool for them.
We were too cool for their festival. that was
Nah, I
honoring
assumed
us
the door was left
and-
open by Vlad. That's why she just went out.
Oh no, Alexis had just opened the door and stepped out. You know, hasn't fully stepped out yet. She's like right there in the doorway.
It's okay. She's close enough.
Yeah.
These are just
Whoa,
I mean-
whoa, whoa.
Okay,
one
lad.
success. Okay.
Success.
One success, indeed.
Hold on, I want to replicate that now.
There we go.
Successful initiative.
Yeah,
Anyways.
now I can do it.
0 success.
I feel like that's the definition of their
That's
Up until carrying
Zero
around.
successes.
that's a mood,
Zero
as
success.
Jax would say.
Oh my
Oh no, we're doing this now? Okay.
I am
somebody,
at 0 successes in my life. That's
Somebody-
Up until
somebody
carrying
just
around.
screenshot Corcus.
Screenshotting it. Just
What? Okay, so apparently I'm the only one. A 1 out of 20.
Anyways, these are basic elf guys that are suitable for our level.
yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, I definitely can't tell you whether or not that's the case.
I
That would
know,
be severely
I just-
metagaming.
I mean, you just see some enemy elves.
I'm just saying, I got 10
They're in
minutes.
your position.
Oh yeah, this will probably
Tell.
take longer than 10 minutes. I'm just gonna set up the initiatives and then we can be done.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It's fine.
I like a 30, so yeah.
Also, you might notice that there are
Fucking elves are
a
there!
lot. I suggest
They
you
are-
look around the perimeter of the building.
Zeroing in our
They're all visible. You can see them.
Because they
And
all
they're-
fucking fell out of the bushes at the same time.
I'm starting to think the queen might have something against us.
I don't think
I
it's
think it's the
queen.
council that has
Uh,
something.
It's the council.
It's probably the council.
Oh, Vassam isn't here. That's right. Nyx,
Let me scroll back up. 19.
DK,
24.
Vlad,
17.
Nim,
13.
Alexis,
18.
Lyle,
26.
Zoot Jenny.
1 success.
Okay, come on now.
22.
Thank you.
There we go. Ah, did you all beat their initiative too?
No,
You
they
sure
did
did.
not.
Oh no, Nim didn't. You're right.
Good job, man.
And
Came
She
out.
tried.
She tried really hard. She rolled above 10.
She did.
Rolled better than Fasam.
according to this, as they attack, they take the time to yell out, "Death to all those who would doubt the Winter Council!" So that
Oh.
solves that shit, I guess.
Whose side they are
Bitches.
on.
This
That
is
answers
why.
that question.
Good.
This is why Nim is slightly slower because she just goes.
I want to do this fight.
She doesn't even say it in halfling. She's just so fucking impressed at how stupid they are.
Yeah, good job.
Vlad-
Good job, Secret
Vlad-
Society agents. Screaming out the name of your secret society before a fight.
Nix has
Yeah.
never killed someone before. He's not sure he's ready.
And Vlad's like, what the fuck? You killed like 4 guys 3 days ago. Right
That
in a
wasn't-
row.
That wasn't me.
Those weren't my hands cutting their throats as I sneaked
I,
through the room.
I get the feeling that they're supposed to yell that so that you guys would be like, "Whoa, what's the Winter Council?"
Yeah, but Alexis
Looks
and
like I
Jenny
have.
were like, no.
So that you would
knows
actually-
Too much.
So that you would actually know that the Winter Council is involved in stuff, but I instead chose to incorporate
Exposit
Wilbur.
the Wilbur.
Because I wanted to show off that, like, oh hey, by the way, I decided on a backstory for fucking Wilbur in his youth today.
Wilbur's
that's
backstory is
I
amazing.
like it.
I mean, I liked
I mean, it makes
because-
sense,
yeah.
like, because now that I know how, like, elven politics is, and that, like, yeah, Winter Council is a thing, and Shinrak Wrath trying to keep the knowledge of the Drow down. The fact that I did choose for Wilbur to have like the racial trait that means that he's Drow descended. Hey, that would probably have some sort of implications on his life when he was young.
Yeah, no, that actually was really good. It was a great tie-in to the story that we have now.
So I guess if I were like a decent DM, I wouldn't have them scream that out because it's not necessary anymore. But I did it anyway because I'm an idiot.
And it's happened now, so we know the winner. I mean, to be fair, even if we didn't know that information, nothing really to stop us from like just stopping whichever one of these 9 to plus many elves are trying to kill us from just squeezing the information out of them with Nyx's incredible intimidation skill. So
yeah,
it's fine. It was good. It was in good humor. It was actually really funny.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to keep that inside of me anyway. Like,
yeah.
Like I read that and I was like, oh, that's stupid. I've got to. I've got to. I've got to share it now. It's too stupid to just keep to myself.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I might as well do it in a more logical fashion.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're ending here, I'm gonna get off.
Please go ahead.
Thank you,
Good night,
Uni.
You're welcome.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's
Good night, Ray.
vampire time.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Wallachia.
Oh yeah, Uni, I've got to DM you something real quick.
Sure.